then I'll let you do it. Come on, dude.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at GoArmy.com/team.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to an absolutely fantastic final summer Friday of 2018. And we had a little bit of a lash of the final whip of summer come through here, about 94 degrees here in Bakersfield, California. Tonight, we're at the legendary Bakersfield High School campus, and we are so proud to bring you Kern High Network's live exclusive coverage of Kern High School District Sports. Tonight, the Bakersfield High School Drillers welcoming in Sierra Canyon. This is going to be a big one. Pleasure to have everybody here, and we have a very special announcing core tonight. We brought in the big shots, the heavies for this evening. I'm Vance Palm, not one of the heavies, but on your far left, Kirk Boyer. Kirk was with us at the very beginning, the very first football game we ever called. Myself, Kirk, Kevin Willie, and Stan Green set up over at Frontier. Great to have Kirk. Find some time, get back with us. Good to see you, buddy. And then in the middle, Kenny Calvin was supposed to be calling the West-South game, but some technical difficulties there. Give us Kenny Calvin. What we're going to do for just a moment is step away from the microphones. We'll get these two gentlemen back for a moment. Listen very closely to Jay Gauthier because we have a very special presentation. We'll turn it back to the field, and then we're going to talk some football. Welcome.
Color guard, Damon Furman, Senior Master Sergeant, John Reagan, Tech Sergeant, Dorian Hernandez, Airman First Class, Senior Master Sergeant. Please stand and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem by your Bakersfield High Driller Band under the direction of Mr. Randy Bennett. Excellent job by the Driller Marching Band.
Once again, welcome everybody. Vance Palm, Kirk Boyer, Kenny Calvin here. Griffith Field at Bakersfield High School. The Drillers welcoming in Sierra Canyon. Going to be a very, very exciting football game. But before the game starts, we have a very important and special presentation we want everyone to enjoy with us. Listen in very closely.
As proclaimed by the United States Congress in 1998, National Prisoner of War and Missing in Action Recognition Day is observed each year on the third Friday of September. For this year, today, September 21st, is that day. National POW MIA Recognition Day is an observance that honors those who were prisoners of war as a result of our armed conflict, as well as those who are still missing in action. It is estimated that over 138,000 soldiers served as prisoners of war since 1941, and 82,000 soldiers are still classified as missing in action. Coincidentally, September 21st also marks the 52-year anniversary of that day. Commander James B. Mills, a 1958 graduate here of Bakersfield High School, was listed as an MIA after the Navy F-4B, upon which he served as radar officer, disappeared in a low-flying bombing mission over North Vietnam in 1966. After 52 years of determined effort, countless number of disappointing searches, endless amounts of hopeful prayers, with just a little bit of luck, Commander Mills' remains were recently identified, and he will officially be buried in Arlington Cemetery next summer. May I please call your attention to the field where the members of the extended Mills family are here in attendance here this evening, standing on the 50-yard line. Let's give the family a warm driller. Thank you for a never-ending giving up process. All members of the Driller football team are wearing a specially designed helmet decal this season in honor of Commander Mills. Danny and Dottie Driller are holding a banner that is a replica of what these helmet decals look like. The number 10 is a representative of the number Jimmy wore when he played football here and basketball for, yes, your BHS Drillers. And the colors represent the colors on the Vietnam War Service Medal given to soldiers where their service was complete. Now, with the identification of his remains, Commander James B. Mills' service to our country is now complete. And now I call your attention to the 50-yard line where James Mills' sister, Judy Mills Tabor, another class of 1960 here at BHS, will flip the ceremonial Griffithfield coin to get tonight's game underway.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Vance Palm, Kirk Boyer, Kenny Calvin. What a special ceremony that was, as poignant as can be. And we're getting ready for some football. Coin toss is about to take place. Let's bring in my two partners. First of all, we'll start with Kirk Boyer. Kirk, West High Viking, Bakersfield College Renegade, Cal Poly Mustang. Spent a lot of time on a lot of these football fields in Kern County. Tonight, special night, BHS bringing in the Trailblazers from Sierra Canyon. First of all, your thoughts on the Sierra Canyon boys, the Trailblazers?
You know, they played 5 football games already this season. Vance, kind of a wide open offensively. It'll be interesting to see what they do defensively. Kind of limited on the internet in searching later this week. But a team that'll spread out and challenge the Drillers in their best attribute, in in my opinion, in the defensive secondary with throwing the football all over the lot, 1,300 yards for their quarterback thus far. But a lot of teams do try to get into the spread, Vance, to try to run the football. So it'll be interesting to see how they attack this Driller defense. It's going to come at you from all angles.
Thank you, KB. Well, right on time, we transition over to the former Driller, Kenny Calvin. You played a lot of games in this field. Did you ever lose a game on this field?
Never lost a game on this field, Vance. It's a beautiful feeling.
Never lost a game here. So when you had your playing days, I'm trying to get a feel for these LA teams that come up here. They come up I-5, they come down the grapevine. And what's it like for a BHS Driller to know that somebody's coming to try to take their turf, man?
Oh, it's a beautiful experience from the fact that you always hear about guys that underestimate the level of talent that we have in the area. And it's a great opportunity for us to prove how good we are. You know, based on our past experiences from state championships and even me as a player playing in LA schools, I never lost to schools down south, so I never felt intimidated by seeing them come out of the grapevine.
So we have a Driller that was undefeated in Griffith Field, so really you have no place to call from. All right, well, big game tonight. Drillers 3-1, Trailblazers 3-2. And
ladies and gentlemen, our visiting referees, box judge tonight, Mr. Carlos Candilo.
Great officiating crew getting ready for this.
Head linesman, Mr. Jesse Espinoza.
The voice of the Drillers, Jay, on there. This is the Kern High School District's live exclusive coverage of high school sports. You're watching this on Kern High Network. Pleasure to have everybody with us. We're about to get going, about to start some football here in a second.
Bakersfield High School and the CIF would like to thank you for showing your support of our student athletes by attending this contest this evening. Please cooperate in making this event exemplary and in the finest tradition of intergalactic athletics.
Yeah.
We remind athletes, coaches, and spectators
I can hear
that this contest will be conducted with the highest expectations of fair play and good sportsmanship. We would also remind you that the officials, who are hardworking individuals, will display fairness.
I called a
and
BHS
integrity.
game
Please treat them with the respect they deserve.
a couple weeks ago, and they're hitting their stride, fellas. They're hitting their stride. And, Kirk, we've called so many football games together, and you and I have done a lot of games together. And, you know, you can just kind of start to see when the teams are starting to get some traction, KB.
Well, it's that time of the year where you start to get ready for league. So as you step out of league and you bring a school up from Los Angeles, you want to give, you know, Coach Gold is very, I think he's very incredible how he picks these spread teams from Los Angeles to come up so he doesn't show anything of what he really wants to do against them into the Valley and doesn't play another Valley team, but he exposes himself and his team to another quality opponent, brings them up here to Griffith. It'll be an interesting game tonight, Vance.
Okay, Drillers will kick off. We're underway. Sierra Canyon will receive, and the ball is taken at the absolute goal line. And not a bad start. Blaine Abbott in there on the tackle, and that was
brought down at the 27-yard line.
Quattro J.D. Sumlin. Quattro J.D. Sumlin, so a last name that has ties to Kern County possibly. And what do you think you're going to see out of here, KB, right out of the gate from these Trailblazers?
You're going to see 4 or 5 wide. They're going to spread it out. Obviously, they've already huddled right behind the football, looking towards the sideline as the coach is signaling the play-in, and they're going to try to go tempo against the Drillers.
Chaden is the last name of the quarterback. Peary Chaden. They start on the ground, right in the middle of the hash mark, and still on the ground. The whistle's on the ground. So the whistle's finally blow. About a 3-yard gain.
In a little bit different look, two backs in the backfield, real quick, real tight splits. Kenny in there against that Driller defense, which kind of comes at you from all angles.
Absolutely. It looked like we started off in a 40 even front. It's going to be interesting. Nice chess match that we're going to see tonight.
They gave him 3. Everybody's up tight on the ball. 2nd and 7. Little quick pitch. Oh, bobbled it a little bit. That's going to be trouble. And able to still fall forward. Flag on the play at the very, very end. So whistles blow. Clock stops. We're just underway. Great to have everybody here on Kern High Network.
Hunter Williams, the ball carrier.
Special moment for me. I have Kirk Boyer and Kenny Calvin up here calling a game with me. Man, oh, man.
Classic.
Man, I feel like I'm going to have to pay the Kern. I got to pay the Kern High School District. Be working with you guys. What'd you get, KB?
Late call on the face mask there on the Drillers, so obviously going to move the sticks. One thing interestingly from the offensive standpoint, they come in with the 2-back set the first play, then they come with a double wing, so obviously trying to hit the formations to see how BHS is going to adjust to them from a Sierra standpoint.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because we expected them to come out 4 wide, and they go first 2 plays, read option and toss sweep.
1st and 10 from midfield. And whistles blow, flags fly, and there was no ball even snapped, and it's going to be on the Drillers. It's going to be encroachment before the ball snaps, so it's going to go into Driller land at the 46-yard line. So here come the Trailblazers.
It's definitely a questionable call. I've hardly ever seen an encroachment call on the corner.
1st and 5. Now they stay on the ground. Oh, big hit at the line of scrimmage and thrown for a loss. Maybe they gave him a yard, maybe, but big front force there by the Drillers.
Slot open, gun, a little bit of a tailback trap with the fullback in the backfield trying to lead up, and the Drillers were on that right away.
Yeah, great job by the defensive end setting the edge and forcing that power back inside.
No gains, 2nd and 5, just underway, 10:38 to go in this first quarter. Vance Palm, Kirk Boyer, Kenny Calvin, Kevin Willie on camera, our director-producer, Miguel Garcia. 2nd and 4, first pass of the game.
Here looking to pass.
Chaden connects wide open at the 35, and they pick up the first down. So caught by Oliver Hanlon.
Picks up a first down by the Trailblazers.
Yeah, and that was a touchdown-saving tackle by Jernigan.
Absolutely on that one. He did a great job of ripping that foot up because he kind of shook him a little bit and really tripped him up at that last moment, because I agree with you. They ran the post on the outside, and the corner was in trail technique, and, man, and you're right, if he'd have got up the sidelines, it would have been a big one. Great tackle.
1st and 10, strong left side. Everybody way out to the left side of the line of scrimmage. The ball's here on the close hash mark. 1st and 10. Peary rolls, throws across his body, and it's caught. 5-yard gain at the 30-yard line.
Trips open formation to the wide side of the field, backside, trying to kind of figure out, going through all the formations here for Sierra. They're trying to figure out what the Drillers are doing and how they're doing it. Just a little simple out in the flat.
Yeah, and it seems like we were in man coverage right there. Great short catch for 5 yards.
Tonight's game with 18 catches for 298 receiving yards.
2nd and 5. Peary, the quarterback, in the shotgun, has one running back there with him, fakes it to him, throws it over here. Another swift move here by that running back, but he runs into trouble. And Hernandez can't get free. Drillers, great read.
Again, great pursuit by Jernigan and the ability to not miss the tackle in a one-on-one situation. Because if you miss tackles like that on those quick screens, those can go a long way.
Absolutely, and a great job of corralling from the inside out and not losing contain. But again, Hernandez is their leading receiver, second leading receiver, 18 for 298 thus far this season. Hasn't gotten in the end zone, but a senior that's been around a while.
3rd and 4. They show run. It is a run. Oh, Drillers, nothing doing there. And that is a beautiful, beautiful play by Isaac Jernigan.
Well, I tell you what, being a former left corner, seeing him play at this high level right away is inspiring. 3 great tackles by Jernigan on this drive.
By the way, for those of you listening in, this is the first time us three been up here together. I'm here with 2 tough guy defenders, linebacker DBs, so a great perspective. Here's a big play to start things off. 4th and 4 at the 30. Big play. They go for a hard count. Nobody jumps. Or did they? Yeah, both line judges threw the foul.
Scoreboard says 4, but, man, it looks like a long ways from over here. I know we're a long ways away from that.
A moot point. 1st and 10.
4th and 4, and your defensive line jumps. It's one of the reasons why coaches have gray hair or none at all.
Trailblazers taking advantage of a couple of miscues on defense. And now it's 1st and 10, opportunity for Peary to throw. He throws out to his left side, throws him right into the route. Nice pass, but oh goodness, what a hit. It was complete out there to E.J. Gable.
Crew wraps him up again at the 22-yard line.
Great job of Gable bringing it in on the swing in a one-on-one situation. And again, the corners, as you've already said, are in man-to-man, locked up, come off of a receiver that time and make another great play, Kenny.
Fellas, I think that was our quarterback.
Those are lucky,
I think that was
lucky plays to corral, because if you're in man coverage and you miss those tackles, they're out of there.
I think that was our quarterback, Cam Williams. And yes, I said our. This is a Kern County team facing a Southern Cal team, so it might come out tonight, Kenny. I may say our.
Well, I was hoping to actually have a game where I wasn't the homer as the broadcaster tonight, and I end up back at home at the place that made me great.
2nd and 7. They run it. Oh, and it's a nice run play, and it's right up the gut of the football field. And it's a long first down, 1st and goal from the 2. That's E.J. Gable.
Just an inside zone play straight up the gut there against that Driller defense that was kind of hopping around, Vance.
Yeah, and actually it looked like we did a double A gap blitz and perfectly timed delay zone.
Gable comes in tonight's contest with 67
Back
carries,
against the wall.
420
First and goal
yards
from the 2,
5
Vance.
touchdowns.
Gable's 400-plus yards. And Jay,
Ball's
we're all
officially
reading the
marked
same
around
stats
the
that we
2-yard
scoured the
line,
internet
first
for.
and
Here's the
goal.
1st and goal from the 1. Quarterback's right behind the center, and I think he jammed it in. He did. Score, Trailblazers.
Touchdown, Sierra Canyon.
That one's an easy one. You just get behind that big right guard that just made a great job of sealing on that double A gap blitz, follow him into the hole, and fall through for a touchdown against the Drillers. You know, not that they didn't have some success running the football up the middle of the Drillers, but you kind of got to look at yourself when you come to the sidelines and deal with Coach Gola over there. It's probably not going to be a kind talk, Kenny.
Absolutely, especially when you give up a first down on a 4th and 4 when they probably weren't even going to run a play and just trying to draw you offside. You know, those are the things that kind of happen when you have a young team, you know, against a somewhat more veteran team from down south. Hopefully the Jibs will be out within the second drive.
Here's the PAT. High snap, has to get it down quickly, and it's up and it's through, and it's really long and really good, almost to California Avenue. And I'm not exaggerating. That ball is close to the fence. So 7-0. Trailblazers. Let's catch our breath, and I'll reintroduce everybody. My 2 partners tonight, Kenny Calvin, graduate BHS, class of
94, Mr. BHS, class of 94.
Kirk Boyer, graduate of West High School, class of
1990.
Both of them superstar high school athletes, and then both of them extremely decorated BC Renegades. Both of them carried a lot of awards out of Memorial Stadium, and Kirk was an offensive coordinator for the Liberty Patriots for many, many years. Now he's the longtime golf coach at Liberty, coach of the year already, and he's got great, great promise on this year's team. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Kenny Calvin, my partner for the BC Renegades, and we'll talk BC football in a minute. Kirk also did a lot of time with me for the Renegades, so I'm glad to haul you guys in here. And Southwest computer technical difficulties, that's their loss. It's our gain to have KB and KC up here. And the score is 7-0 here on Kern High Network. We're very excited to have everybody listening in tonight. Good game, big game. Kevin Willie, one of the original mafiosos, is on camera tonight. Miguel Garcia, an East High Blade.
Well, VP, I got to tell you, I've been extremely jealous watching you guys work on Friday, so I'm glad to get to hang out tonight.
KC, your Drillers going to have the football here in a minute.
Kickoff for Trailblazers. Carl Jones back to return for Bakersfield.
All right, CJ's back, and I think he's going to get a chance, a good chance. Gets it at the 5. He's looking for some blocking. Oh, big contact. And Carl Jones doing what he does, gets up to about the 28-yard line. We saw him a couple weeks ago just absolutely destroy Ridgeview. And I love Ridgeview, and Coach Manning's a close friend, but not only did they take care of making sure their talented playmakers didn't do anything, Carl Jones did some heavy-duty work on those guys, and Cam made it look kind of easy after Carl had done some pounding in the middle. So interested to see what goes on here. KB, what do you see?
Just a typical Driller set here, trying to run the little give inside and figure out what they're going to do. A little late hit there, but you know, the Drillers will be very similar, kind of mix it up, getting his double tight, maybe getting that the double wing and toss the ball and throw. They're going to line up and run the football. They want to shorten the game. Coach Gola wants to shorten the game and play really aggressive defense. He's going to run the football on offense. They don't throw the football very much, but when they do, they're going to take some deep shots and try to make some big plays in the passing game. So it'll be interesting to see how they attack this defense. It came out in a little 4-man front here to see from down south.
2nd and 9. Right up the middle again to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and like Kurt said, they're coming out in that classic 4-4 defense, more of a pro-style defense than what the Drillers run. You know, probably because they have the personnel to actually have a more stable defense. We're going to see what we can do to it.
3rd and 4, so a testy little 3rd down here on their first drive. Uber talented quarterback Cameron Williams was spinning it and slinging it as a sophomore, and then last year primarily a defensive player, now this year both ways, and what a talented young man he is. First pass of the night, A dart right on the target, and that'll be a first down past the 40-yard line. Perfect strike.
Great little throw from the quarterback. 1, 2, 3 balls out. Little stop route. Again, one-on-one situation with the corner. BHS trying to isolate a corner out on him, and a good job of catching and falling forward, and a first down for the Drillers.
Yeah, and that was a crucial third down conversion because you don't want to punt it right back to an offense that just ran the ball down your throat.
First and 10, balls at the 40. There's a nice pitch. Oh, goodness, it's going to be Isaiah Jernigan, and he gets to the 46-yard line. I thought he was going to cut up and be gone.
Motion to the wide side of the field, and they fake that dive option and then pitch it out wide. Again, as you said, to Jernigan, and a good little start on first down for about a 6-yard gain.
And it'll be a great opportunity to run that option against the 4-4 because 4 linebackers compared to 4 speed guys, it's an advantage for the Drillers.
2nd and 4, trying to get to midfield. 4:45 left in this first quarter. Williams takes a look, calls something, talks to his guys. Right up the gut. They get it to the 50-yard line. Super, super close to a first down.
Well, and the toughest thing for that is he's about 3.5 yards, Vance, so he's not very far. It's a turn and give it to him, and he's got a full head of steam before anybody hit him. Again, as Kenny said, with that 4 defense, they're just attacking that wide 3 angle right there and trying to get up and burst through it, and it's a great little game.
3rd and 4. They say 3rd and 4. It's 3rd and 4 inches. There's a nice pitch. They might pick it up here. I don't know. Cuts back up, and just gets to the first down marker. Ooh, close. Nice defense.
Yeah, great defense. The ability to force that back in by keeping containment. You know, you can tell these guys do a great job pursuing the football. It's going to be interesting to see how we take advantage of that later as an offense.
Well, with them pinning their ears in, too, it's making the read a little bit easier on the pitch for the quarterback, but it's making that dive read, the most difficult key point, a little bit tougher initially.
Let's see if they open it up a little here. 1st and 10. It's going to be Williams. He decides to keep it, and some hard hitting. He gets 6 yards, but takes a couple of big shots.
And then there's Coach Gola in the offense saying, well, hey, we've given you the dive and we've given you the pitch, but now we're going to give you one of our best athletes, one of the best athletes in the state, and we're going to just run him outside almost like a quarterback keep, and he's just trying to run to find a hole, and wherever he falls through the hole, then he's going to square his shoulders and run for a big play.
2nd and 5. 3:10 left in this first quarter. 7-0 Trailblazers up. Big contact at the line of scrimmage. Another run. And this time it was Wesley Wilson, and he was hit head on, smacked at the line of scrimmage.
Great job by the defensive line. They were actually pinching. And what we mean by that, you got the two technique D tackles basically coming down on that A gap to play that dive. So it's up to Cam to make that appropriate read.
Cruz Nix, number 64, a senior, 6'5", 240, on the left edge over there. 3rd and 4. For a brief second, Isaiah Jernigan thought he may be going behind Cam. All a ruse. Cam, there's nobody to give it to. There was nobody to give it to. Cam stuck the ball out and he was sitting there. Broken play. Ay, KB.
Definitely a miscommunication there. I think he's looking at the fullback and the fullback's looking at him. Somebody made a wrong decision, and they'll sort that out next series. But again, as you said, did a good job of turning his shoulders and falling forward and making something out of nothing, and a manageable for Coach Gola here, 4th and 2.
4th and 2. The ball's at the Trailblazer 40-yard line. So here's a nice spicy play here in the first quarter. And they get it. Or did they?
Great second effort, I think. Depends on the top. You got one at the top and one at the bottom. Where are they going to meet?
I believe we're short, guys.
Wilson with the ball carrier.
No dice. First down, Trailblazers. Oh, boy.
It comes back down to Cam's decision-making from a read option standpoint. You know, because if they're going to keep pinching on that A-gap, no matter what and how much you want to give it to the dive, you may actually have to keep it and create more opportunity on the edge.
That's a great point. He's got to make sure he maybe even stick in that hip a little bit longer and pull it back out and give himself more of a chance. You want to, as the athlete and the quarterback, the alpha guy, you kind of want him maybe to think about that a little bit. But Coach Gola in the offense will make those adjustments. But a great stop by that Sierra defense. They were kind of chunking themselves a little bit. They want to keep themselves, Vance, in that 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2 range. They don't want to be in that 3rd and 5.
Well, here's a pass on 1st and 10. Looks like he might go downtown with it, and he does. Oh, almost caught. Wow. Spins it about 45 yards, and it was in and out of the hands of Chase Edwards-Morgan. Ooh.
Edwards was wide open if he throws a stick ball on the front shoulder. Quarterback kind of hipped and hopped in between jumps there. He's got to make sure he gets his foot in the ground, plant that front foot, and throw that thing. When your guy has 6 or 8 yards, ran a little double move and lost the corner, you float the ball in the air. It gives the corner a chance to come back over the top and rip it on you. So really a poor throw by the quarterback there.
Yeah, poor throw, and it gave the DB an opportunity to get back into the play and actually play it at the highest point and fight through the wrist. Great play by the DB, but if it was a better throw, it was a touchdown.
Yeah, it'd be 13-0 in a heartbeat. As the play developed, he almost was sacked. Peary almost went down, hung in there, took a hit after he threw it. We've got a timeout on the field. We'll take our first break. We'll take our first break of the evening. Hope you're enjoying this on Kern High Network. Back right after this.
Vance Palm and Kenny Calvin.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
Kirk Boyer, Kenny Calvin. We're at Bakersfield High School, Griffith Field. 2nd and 10 here after the timeout by the Trailblazers from Sierra Canyon and Chatsworth. Stretch play out to the left side of the line of scrimmage. Flag right in the middle of the play. And if I was a betting man, I'd say it's a holding.
Interesting way to attack the Driller defense. Again, very, very athletic and running around the ability they have to attack it. You try to go fly on them wide. Didn't really make any sense. It also doesn't help the lineman out. Now we got a lineman with his hand outside. And now you're back behind the sticks if you're Sierra.
That's a great point, Kirk, because we're a speed team more than anything. You're not going to beat us sideline.
Not very often, that's for sure. They got a lot of the guys out there that can move. All those guys on defense, and Coach Gola always predicates that. All hit 11 guys on defense. Maybe the exclusion every once in a while when they have that great big nose guard that can be just physical and reroute the center. But all those guys got to be able to hustle all the way sideline to sideline. Yes.
First penalty against the Trailblazers, a big one, puts him at 3rd and 10. Peary rolls to his right, has a ton of time, fires it out here, and it's caught for the first down. An athletic grab, and boy, a nice catch out by Harvey, but is that a flag, Kenny?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's back at the 40-yard line of scrimmage.
Harvey's our leading receiver, Vance. He's got 28 for 385 and 3 touchdowns coming into the season. So he's the guy that they're going to try to isolate and get into big plays. But it looks like one of the linemen, again, with the hand in the cookie jar, going to back this thing up.
Yeah, Kirk, and I was just about to give him some credit because it was a great protection.
Great little pocket in there. It was kind of clean.
Great pocket. Yeah. But, the problem with rolling your quarterback often, you have the holding penalties.
Well, we'll kind of hit it more, but you're exactly right with that athletic defense. That bigger lineman doesn't have as much. So what is it? That last thing? It's the hardest thing to teach an offensive lineman is, hey, once you're beat, just let him go because all you're going to do is back us up even further.
Yes, and it didn't have too much to do with the outcome of the play.
Backside,
absolutely.
Right?
Guys, I was telling you about Cruz Nick, 6'5", 240. Goes both ways. He just jogged off the field. So it's one of their big guys. And I'm going to ask both of you guys a little bit about Sierra and Chatsworth area and kind of what this school's all about. Be ready. Peary drops back. He's in trouble. Goes down. Sacked at the 22-yard line. And it was a solo job by Adrian Moreno.
Well, I had a great opportunity of watching Adrian Moreno as a Golden Empire youth football player on this field. But Kirk just hit the nail on the head when he said that our defensive tackles are somewhat like linebackers. They're so much faster than the tackles on the offense, to where we're going to get pressure. And that's our second sack of the season, so that's great to see.
Half a minute left here in this first quarter. They're going to punt, and
flag on the play.
It's 4th and 27. I think that's a false start. That might make it 4th and 32. So that means Carl Jones is going to scoot up to about the 50.
First game in a while, and these guys want to be on TV, man. You know how, man, come on, let these kids play.
Yeah, it seems like we're getting a lot of laundry out there tonight, Kirk. Still first quarter, right?
Something special could happen here. Oh, it's Bell back. Here's the punt. And it's going to take a bounce, I'm sure. Bounces backwards. Oh, and it's fumble taken by a driller. He thought he would take it and run with it. It took a backwards bounce, and I think one of the drillers thought, I'll just take off with it. And unfortunately, Jimmy Henry III took off before he had it. I'll start with you, KB.
Well, I just think he, again, like you said, he thought he was going to make a play, and then that coach in his back of him told him, don't do that. And then he was already committed, and he touched it. And there was 2 Sierra guys there to kind of overpower him to get the ball down on the ground. So, again, a bad situation and a great set on defense by the drillers. Backs him all the way up. You should have great starting field position. Now you got the Sierra with the ball back out on the line.
And a hard count, and they get the drillers to jump. Both of you guys spent a lot of years coaching. You up the eagle eye for the Renegades. Coach Boyer, an offensive coordinator. You talk about a discussion point that may take place at halftime or on the sidelines right now.
Well, VP, I got to tell you, I'll be honest with you. Henry is my little cousin, son of the Harlem Globetrotter.
Oh, now we're going to move it back here.
Got to get him to tighten it up down there.
Well, that was Nix. That was the big fella I keep telling you about. He jumped, and when you're 6'5", 240 and you jump on the edge, you're going to get caught. We've all been there, Kirk. That's a great point you make about right at the last second he heard that coach's voice, don't do it, but he had already committed.
Anybody that's played any sort of organized ball, that coach tells you what not to do and what to do. It's like stepping in the key in basketball. Oh, he told me not to, but it looks so good to go get it. You know, it's like the forbidden fruit.
Oh, I heard this a lot. Vance, don't take that. Oh, good shot. It was always, if you swish it, you can hang out for a couple more minutes on the court. Here we go, 1st and 10. Oh, confusion. Peary looks to his left. There's nobody there. They lost for a couple of yards. And
well, VP, I'll say
that takes us to the end of the first quarter. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll take a quick break. Be back here 7-0. Trailblazers up over BHS on the Kern High Network. Back after this.
California's largest Buick GMC dealer, Motor City, has the best offer on your new professional-grade GMC Sierra. Get up to $7,500 in total savings on the Sierra 2500 or 3500 HD Crew Cab Denali. Or drive away the Sierra half-ton Crew Cab SLT with up to $11,000 in savings. Go online to MotorCityGMC.com for all the details. Welcome to the city, Motor City. California's largest Buick GMC dealer, Motor City, has the best offer on your new
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get.
The second quarter here at Bakersfield High School. Vance Palm, Kirk Boyer, Kenny Calvin, Kevin Willie, Miguel Garcia. My bodyguard, Noah Palm, with me tonight, so I feel good. It's all good. 2nd and 13. Peary has a ton of time in the pocket. Wow. And it's a big completion out there, a first down. So on a 2nd and 13, a first down completion by Peary to Oliver Hanlon.
Yeah, and VP, that's just a blown assignment because we're in man coverage in the secondary everywhere else. And they slip the back out, and he goes on a crossing route. He's wide open.
All the way across the field, and it looked like the defense just let him loose, and they just turned him clean loose. And you're exactly right. They were in man-to-man, so a breakdown there for the drillers.
1st and 10 inside BHS territory. Hard count. Nobody jumped. They all backed up. Coach Gola giving a late signal here to his defense. Peary, the quarterback, decent last couple of minutes. This is a run play. And a change of directions and a lot of talent and a lot of skill gets him a first down, and that's J.D. Sumlin.
Sumlin on a little zone cutback. Vance started to the right, cut it all the way back to the left side C gap, and burst through that Driller defense there that kind of over pursued.
And Sumlin looking like Angus Sumlin of West High fame on that run right there.
That's a good name from the past.
1st and 10, balls at the Driller 32-yard line. Peary now starting to kind of take control of the tempo and the feel and the look of it. Pass out to the right side, and it's complete. And a great ball fake. 3 or 4 Drillers jumped all over Sumlin, didn't have the ball. It was going the other direction.
Got you too, Vance. I saw your head down there. Now, the quarterback did a great job of running that thing down, and then he's just attacking the sideline horizontally, and he's reading the outside linebacker out there that's sitting. If he turns and runs, then he's going to keep it and run up the field. If he stays like he did, he's just going to throw a little long handoff to his receiver and try to make one of those one-on-one plays against that Driller defense.
Great point, Kurt, because it's just like the run option actually with a long pitch.
2nd and 3, ball at the Driller 25-yard line. A pitch right beneath everybody, and another strong run up to the 19-yard line, and this time it is E.J. Gable, another senior.
Gable, the ball carrier,
Kenny talked about the veterans on this Trailblazer team, a lot of seniors.
For the Trailblazers.
I don't see a huge size disparity other than that offensive line. Pretty big for Trailblazers.
Yeah, true pro-style offensive line look compared to our defensive line. We do have some size at the nose.
They picked up the first, ball at the 20. Stay on the ground again. This time it's Gable.
And to take what Kenny said, that true pro-style offense, and they come run G-pull at you. So the backside guard, the left guard, is going to pull and lead back through the hole to the right, and then the tailback's just going to kind of get on him and follow him up and through the hole for a minimal gain. But again, you're starting to see a lot of different formations from this Sierra offense and a lot of different plays kind of trying to get at this Driller defense.
They just get enough guys on. Another hard count. Ooh, close, real close. Peary, as I mentioned earlier, really in control of the tempo right now of this football game. It's a handoff to Gable. Ooh, big hit. That was a big pop right there.
Gable only goes 150, Vance, so when he gets swacked by one of those linebackers or those safeties, he's going to feel it and going the other way. But he does a good job of squaring his shoulders, and you know me, I like him to fall through the hole vertically, and he does do a good job, but it was a minimal gain in this Driller defense, as they always do, Kenny. Back up, like you just said, keeping these things to a minimal gain and trying to hold it to a field.
Absolutely. Keontae Bell, brother of the young man that I gave cleats earlier today, doing a great job filling from the middle linebacker position.
He wears that number 23. 3rd and 6. A pass play down here beneath the low hash mark, and a big hit, and he did not get the first down to my eyes, and it's the ball at the 11-yard line. That's Jay's right, about the 11, so it'll be 4th and short here on this near hash.
Tried to sneak that back out into the weak side flat out there, give him some room in a one-on-one situation, and another great job by that Driller defense, Kenny, making a one-on-one spot where he has to make a tackle and doing a great job.
Absolutely.
I formation. They try to jam it up there, and they get it. That pro-style offensive line, big enough for 3 yards.
Well, and it's tough in that situation because he's going so fast at tempo. They were still looking for the call. It looked like to me the Driller defense get in behind that big guard and just follow him through and fall forward for the first down.
Yeah, and it's going to be opportunities for the defensive line to get penetration, but on those 4th and shorts, the big boys just fall forward like you said, Kurt.
Looks like around the 9-yard line.
They're going to measure, huh?
No, they're live.
First down,
Trailblazers. Yeah. 1st and goal from the 9. 8:43 remains in the half. Hope you're enjoying all of this on Kern High Network. Pleasure to have everybody here. My partners, Kirk Boyer, Kenny Calvin. What a treat. What a treat. Peary has 2 backs back there with him. And it's going to be a touchdown run. and it looked a little easy. Hunter Williams,
well, they went
junior.
They went back to that wide set out of the gun again and pulled the fullback is in the backfield with him, so he's actually got a 3 or 4 yard start. Then they jab step with that tailback, and he just kind of gets in a little locomotive going downhill at that BHS defense. Sierra's found a little something out of that two-back set.
Absolutely, and that's just one of those opportunities where as an outside linebacker, it's a guessing game for you. You either go inside or outside. He's been doing a great job setting the edge, and that time he did as well, but the field didn't come from the inside backers as the lineman got to the second level and cut him off.
Absolutely great point. That tackle getting down and sealing off that BHS backer. Even though he does set the edge, it doesn't matter. They're out of guys.
8:34 remains in this first half. We'll take another break. 14-0. Trailblazers up over the Drillers. Back right after this.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking.
14-0. The Sierra Canyon Trailblazers out of Chatsworth and LA up by 2 touchdowns. 8.5 left in this first half, and there's that big leg that I was talking about earlier by Josh Bryan.
Hey, that's a thing that we don't get. These guys, we talked about it last weekend. I was talking with some people about the NFL, and you pay these guys this money, and then you come out and see a high school kid bombing into the end zone. I know it's a little bit different where the ball is, but those are those things that are going to translate down the road into college and even into the pros because, man, last weekend those kickers in the NFL had a heck of a time making some.
Oh, yeah, they did. But I will say I played with some great kickers on this field. Ryan Neese, Brian Walker, something about this field. Just makes great kickers.
How about 2 years ago, they didn't even have field goal posts. They were doing so much work, they didn't have the field goal. Fumble, ball's on the ground, fumble!
I don't know if he wasn't ready for the snap, Vance, or what happened. It looked like it was okay. It might have been a touch bit low, but it's on the ground now, and that defense from Sierra is looking like barn burners.
Oh, yeah. Boy, Kenny.
And now it's just one of those times where you probably want to get all your guys on the sideline and have a talk with them and let them know, settle down. There's still a lot of football left to be played. You kind of see some of the nerves getting to some of the guys because that basically looked like a bowling ball instead of a football snap.
And now, fellas, all of a sudden, it gets to be where it's between the ears. Now it gets to be between the ears like, uh-oh.
Well, a big opportunity here in a quick change situation for that BHS defense to try to save that offense.
Peary wants to throw. He's got a ton of time. Then he stays in the pocket and just says, I'll take a hit. I'm looking at things. I'm surveying things. I'm seeing what I need to see. Great defense by the Drillers back there.
Well, it's just like Kirk said, you get that sudden change. Usually you're going to play action up top every time, to try to take the heart out of the defense. But great job by the defensive secondary and covering that slant and being ready for that.
Absolutely, and creating a little bit of pressure on the quarterback who climbed in the pocket, thought he kind of was going to stick with that. They just kind of went with a one-man route to try to max protect for him. As you said, that play action quick, but BHS did a good job here. And this could be a big set if they can hold him to a field goal or, gosh forbid, they get the football back for him here, momentum-wise.
Great
Second
point.
and 12. This time they stay on the ground, and he had a touchdown a few minutes ago. Can he get another one? No, he does not get in. And that is the speedy Hunter Williams, a junior, 6 foot, 180 pounds. And it's going to be
great job of squaring up to the hole and then bouncing it out to the outside linebacker. A really good job of the defense of setting the edge, but squared up and trying to get a little bit of that sack back to set up a manageable third down here for Sierra.
Yeah, and I see now why they're averaging 198 yards rushing the game. They do a great job making it look like they're going left and bouncing it all the way opposite.
3rd and 6. Peary, they go right up the middle, and it is a touchdown. It is a glorious gallop for Hunter Williams, his second TD in 2 minutes. And all of a sudden, the BHS faithful right below us kind of looking at each other, looking around, shaking their head. It's 20-0 with 7 minutes to go in the first half.
And if you've been watching with us, you have to be just as frustrated as these defensive coaches are because they've played pretty well defensively. Just some bad breaks on the first drive with the 3 penalties, flipped the field. You had the face mask 15-yarder that basically gave them our side of the field. And now, all of a sudden, one big run play, a couple big turnovers, and we're down 21 points.
Well, absolutely, and the defense has really done their job. They got the football back for you on the plus 40-yard line, but we made a mistake and gave Chatsworth the ball there, hit Sierra the ball there, and then again this one. So the defense is kind of doing their thing, even though Coach Cole is going to say, why did we give up a 15-yard run? But in a grander scheme, offensively, hey, boys, it's time for you to get your thing done here.
Yeah, absolutely, because if you look at time of possession right now, I would say the Drillers probably have less than 3 minutes.
No, yeah, well, they've had two series in one play. Yeah. You're exactly right. And what they predicate themselves on is trying to keep that ball away from the other team and shortening up the game. Now Coach Gold is going to be interesting here with 21. Can he, the guest, and you're down. I know it's 7 minutes left, but his offense isn't really ready to go 5 wide and start spreading it and throwing it. So he's got an interesting thing to how he's going to try to change his game plan going forward.
That's a great point.
Head coach for Sierra Canyon is John Ellinghouse. He has a staff of 15, including quality control. That's the gig I want.
I was actually a quality assurance guy in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
For a high school football team?
Nah, Cooper Tires.
He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 coaches and an athletic trainer, and they do a fine job. Here comes the kickoff, and it's going to be handled at the goal line by Carl Jones. Let's see if Carl can do something here for these Drillers and give them some decent field position, which he does, up to the 30-yard line. So as we listen to Kirk and Kenny talk about what needs to happen here, all three of us have the talking part down. Now it's the Drillers that need to apply it and execute, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Kurt said. Defense have done somewhat of a good job, and now it's on the offense to try to make plays and actually give the guys on the other side of the bench.
Well, and the bigger thing is
rest.
Give them a couple plays so they can rest and look at the tape and make some adjustments because they haven't been able to do that the last 2 series.
1st and 10, balls on this near hash. Drillers, Cam's going to keep it himself, gets to about the 40-yard line, almost picks up a first down. So, he's down for a second here. Is he all right?
That was a tough hit he just took.
I agree, Kenny. He even thought about it a little bit too, but luckily nobody else saw it, so hopefully he's able to shake it loose there. But again, just that fake the give, Vance back to the A gap, and then he just follows it through and falls through the hole. Such an explosive athlete, squared up and ran through that Sierra defense.
Yeah, and it's a great point because Cam's one of the toughest guys on the team. I see him in the gym all the time. He's the only high school kid in there with a bunch of grown men. In times like this, you got to lead on your toughest players.
1st and 10. Drillers grind it out to about the 5-yard. Looks like they have a little bit of kick and pep in their step right now. I think things are, you can just kind of tell, Kenny, they probably did have one of those quick little meetings like, hey, fellas, are you serious?
Well, I think the offensive line coach, and I'll always put it on the offensive line coach for the Drillers, got his boys together and said, hey, we got to get something going here, and it starts with you 5 men up front, so let's go. So that's 2 really solid plays to start this drive out for the Bakersfield High offense.
Yes.
2nd and 6. They're swapping sides. Delroy Madkins down here below us on the right side. Cam, will he keep it? He steps back, wants to throw, tosses a beauty. What a nice play that was. Oh, massive hit at the 35-yard line. He pops up and says, 1st down, and Isaiah Jernigan takes a huge hit. Oh, no, that's not Jernigan. That's Isaac. Well, it's Isaac Jernigan. Takes a huge hit, but how about the design of that play, KB?
Well, it was a great job of the quarterback climbing in the pocket to allow the zone coverage to kind of break down and the receiver to get behind it and throw an absolute strike, as you said, and a really big shot by the safety.
And he pops right up and says, 1st down. And it is, and it's at the 35-yard line of Sierra Canyon, and this crowd's starting to feel it now. Now Cam again is going to take it. Oh, huge block at the 25-yard line. What a nice hit out there. And Kenny, Kirk talked about just keeping the ball in the hands of the best athlete.
Well, one thing I'll add is the adjustment by Coach Gola to try to stretch the field a bit on that 2 plays ago, because you're wondering, you run so much read option, how are you going to get back into a game like this? 25-yard plays, that's how you get back into a game like this.
Cam, and more Cam.
And exactly, and give it to him and let him make the plays and the decisions and just take it into his own hands, as you said, the guy that's in the gym working out and a senior leader that's going to be a ball player at the next level. Let me make some plays and do it. And it also started with that great little pass by him throwing the football in there. I think everybody sitting in that zone was like, well, he doesn't really throw the ball. They don't really throw the ball a lot. That might be more based or predicated on the opponents that they played. Hey, let me show what I can do too. And it's a great point about, hey, the big athletes want to be in the big stage and they want to make the big plays. This drive, he says, hey, just jump behind here, boys. I'm going to make sure this happens.
Certainly, and as you find yourself in a game like this, you know that one drive can put you back into it. 21-7 at the half feels a lot better than 21-0, but more than anything, seeing Coach Gola actually spread the offense out and give the secondary or their secondary an opportunity to stop resting, because it seems like that's what their secondary is doing, being Sierra Canyon, because, in games like this, when you're playing a team that runs it 30 to 40 times a game, sometimes you're not even getting any looks, and they take plays off. So great job taking advantage of that.
Kern High School District represented well tonight. I'm an Arvin Bear. We'll go by age. We'll go by age.
After the big catch by
I'm an Arvin Bear. Kevin Willie's a West High Viking. Kirk Boyer's a West High Viking. Kenny Calvin's a BHS driller. Miguel Garcia's an East High Blade. So the Kern High School District, this is authentic, an authentic production here.
We got
First
it
and
covered.
10.
It looks like we have a change at quarterback.
For a second. And it's probably Shane Jones. Sorry.
Still up on his feet.
Cam Williams. We've been watching so many drillers on Saturdays, and I got 2 Renegades with me, and I heard KB almost say Renegades a couple minutes ago. It happens when you start calling BHS games and BC games on Fridays and Saturdays. That's a beautiful play, and starting to punish this defense a little bit.
Yeah, Carl Jones came in and gave Cam a break. Read option play against that 40 even front.
That was Carl Jones, so not Shane, but Carl. Again, Carl Jones kind of just waits and takes his time for a second and looks where he needs to go and then just takes off and gets about 2.
Yeah, and I think the offense is a little bit different here. They're kind of looking to run him a little bit more and be physical with that offensive line. So on the flip side, now you're starting to see a little bit of angles and adjustments by the Sierra defense.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see Coach Gola try to take advantage of some play action right now, being that they're going to load up in the box.
I also see Cameron Williams coming back down from the water over to the coaching staff. So on a 2nd and 8, it's Carl Jones. Again, Jones keeps. Jones looks. Gets to the 5-yard line. Strong, hard run.
One good thing for the drillers, and not that Coach Gola is afraid to go for it there, but they can get that first inside the 3 Vance. But again, just get in behind those big offensive linemen and your fullback in that situation and try to find a hole. Follow through with your shoulders square.
Yeah, and it appears that Sierra Canyon may be tightening down into a bare front.
Well, I see a lot of hands on some hips over there on that defense. They've been on the field a long time. This drive started on the 30. 3rd and 4. Again, Jones keeps it right up the middle. What a beautiful fake. Touchdown, Drillers.
Even better, as you said, was the fake and how he rode the fake out so the defensive end had to sit on the edge, and he was held there, vertical bursting through. A great play and a great drive by the Drillers to answer, as you said, Kenny, right before the half.
Yeah, and I think it's important to try to at least, if you're not going to spread the ball and throw it all the time, at least give them something to think about. And that's what that one play did. We didn't throw it again, but them having to respect that and deepen up a bit gives those lanes availability for Jones. Great drive.
3:33 remains here in this first half. The Drillers want the ball back. They want another shot at it, another long kick, some good kicking tonight. We'll take a short break. We have some great partners. We want you to enjoy their advertising, and we'll be back right after this. Drillers on the board, 21-7 at Kern High Network.
All right, let's go, guys.
California's largest Buick GMC dealer, Motor City, has the best offer on your new professional-grade GMC Sierra. Get up to $7,500 in total savings on the Sierra 2500 or 3500 HD Crew Cab Denali. Or drive away the Sierra half-ton Crew Cab SLT with up to $11,000 in savings. Go online to Motor City GMC.
Welcome back, buddy. Saw one of my childhood buddies here, Javier. We're sitting here talking about our days in Arvin, Haven Drive Bulldogs. We were Arvin proper, Haven Drive.
Shout out to Arvin.
Played for the great Larry Sears.
Man, my favorite college teammate, Hernan Santiago.
Oh, yeah.
That dude taught me how to be a man on defense.
Javier played for the great Chuck Chamberlain, Bill Satterfield, Greg Showers, the whole crew. Offensive lineman, all league, Javier.
All taken at the 4-yard line.
All right, see if the Drillers can stop this methodical, opportunistic offense of the Trailblazers. Got 3 touchdowns against the Drillers, 1 touchdown. I'm joined tonight. This is, forget about the term all-star. That gets overused. This is, and I don't want to say top shelf. I just want to say this is like if you go down Rodeo, this is the Rodeo Drive crew right here. You see a Bentley, a Rolls, a Ferrari, Kirk Boyer, Kenny Calvin. This is too good. 1st and 10. Can the Drillers get a stop here and get the ball back with enough time? We'll find out. Peary, the quarterback, rolls out to a swath of real estate. Picks up 4 yards. Fellas, is it just me or is there a lot of land out there for him to roam around? Flag on the play. And that's maybe why. A holding call.
Little half roll with a 2-man route, trying to get the high-low read with a corner and a inside flood type look. He got outside, didn't like what he saw because the man-to-man coverage tried to square up. And again, we talked about those quicker athletic defensive linemen against that big offensive line. That some of those guys, as you said, Vance, have gone both ways now with 3 minutes left in the game. Lazy hands, flag on the ground.
Yeah, and that was a great point. You took the words right out of my mouth because later in the game you're going to see more and more of those holding penalties because I would assume that our defense is going to be in better conditioning than those big guys on up front.
They move it back, and the clock stops. All good news for the Driller fans.
Block in the back penalty on the Trailblazers.
Officially, I'm hearing Jay say it was a block in the back.
That probably means the receiver that was out to the wide side was trying to pin the edge against that outside linebacker and cracked him in the back.
Look at this. Wide left. Everybody over here on the side closest to us. Peary's in trouble. Floats one out there, and, ooh, dangerous pass, and took a big hit and paid the price.
He's struggling a little bit against the man-to-man coverage, Vance. He doesn't really like him when they're in that good hip trail technique for the Driller secondary, so the quarterback's been a little bit unsure of throwing the football. Against the zone, he feels very comfortable. Against that man-to-man, he struggles.
Yeah, and that pressure is getting back there. Like we said, Kirk, Adrian Moreno coming in, and he was a superstar as a youth football player.
He popped him.
He's transitioned very well to the next level.
And Moreno's coming back from injury as well, so he's frothing to get back in there and get going.
Yes.
Okay, way down here to the bottom of your screen, the right side. On a 2nd and 20, 2:56. The clock keeps stopping. The Driller's loving it. Peary wants to throw again. He's in trouble. Will he get rid of it? He does, and it's complete for a short gain, a good gain. Ooh, he got popped and still let go of it. I'll tell you what, fellas, Chaden Peary not afraid, the sophomore, of taking contact.
Did a great job of sitting in the pocket. They had the screen set up to the wide side of the field. The Drillers would have none of that. Looked back to the front side where his outlet was and then found the fullback that had led through to start off the screen and got a little bit of a positive gain there.
And one of the things that we teach when you have a guy, fight the wrist. Find the ball and fight the wrist. You find the wrist, you find the ball. You have the jersey and you're still trying to pull him down. Find the arm and pull through to create that turnover because right now you need turnovers to get back into this game.
Well, and that's a great point when talking to Khalil Mack, that was traded from the West Coast to the Midwest.
He's going to look what he does.
I don't want to do it. I'm just saying they traded Mack, but Mack talked this week. I was listening to him on a talk show, and he talks about the sack being the ball to where he doesn't worry about all the hits and the changes in the rules and the hits in the NFL. He worries about going to that wrist and that ball because he knows if he knocks that ball or that wrist with his big old paws, if he knocks that thing down, then we're going to have a strip sack type situation and the defense is going to turn the ball over.
Kirk, I'm glad you brought that up because we were taught to get the ball. We were taught that as soon as the ball is placed on the ground, it's yours. When it comes up, find it. So we're not trying to tackle just you. We're tackling the ball.
Heard Von Miller talk to Dan Patrick about that this week. Just go to the ball. They're talking about, can you make a hit anymore? Can you hit anymore? What's legal anymore? And he said, Dan, I just go for the ball. So look at this. The clock has stopped so much, and it's a 3rd and 12. The Drillers may get the ball back. Peary rushed out of the pocket, and it's underthrown, and
brings up a 4th down, 4
the Drillers do what we thought they could do right there, and they get the ball back with a mountain of time, fellas.
Well, it's just like what we said, VP. The defense has been doing a great job when they haven't made mistakes. That's a drive where the offense made the mistakes and we kept them back. But finally, we find a way to cover the crossing routes as they're trying to get a little pick action going. But great job by the defense.
Carl Jones stands at the 40, fellas. Go ahead, KB.
And to piggyback on what you said, they forced the pressure on that. The defense forced the pressure on the offense and set it up by putting them behind the sticks to start the series.
It was not fair caught. Great job by Jones, and he cuts back the other direction. He's got a speedy guy behind him, but what a great play by Jones. And then Chase Edwards-Morgan, he's pretty speedy, eh?
Well, I got to tell you this. Way to finish a run. Did you see him straight out on that guy?
Yeah.
He did a backflip. Great job finishing a run with Carl Jones.
Guys, Kenny and KB, was it Texas Tech or North Texas last week where the return man didn't wave it, caught it, everybody
North
stopped.
Texas versus Arkansas.
And he just took off with it. Well, Carl Jones had 3-4 guys around him, never raised his hand, never waved it, and he knew that they didn't see it, and he took off.
I bet he saw that highlight this week, VP.
Man, 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. The Drillers with 2:25 left. Cam tosses one out here, and it's caught. Wesley Wilson also finishes the run right there.
Wilson.
Just a long handoff, Vance, just a lateral swing there. Probably goes down as a rush if you're really doing the stats and the whole thing. But get our athletes one-on-one on the outside. A really good job of stock blocking by all 3 wide receivers to the wide side and finding a hole and getting a positive gain and getting an 8-yard gain on first downs. Big for this Driller offense.
Kirk, and how about the downfield blocking by the receiver, Jernigan? You know, as a corner, you got to fight that guy off.
Williams behind center, 2nd and 3. Stronger left side. Williams keeps it himself, makes a great move, and an ankle tackle or he's gone. 17-yard line, 1st down, Drillers.
That one looked designed to me. He was trying to get to that C gap. The backer did a good job of forcing him back inside, but a better athlete just made him miss, and he fell through again for another 1st down. And the Drillers are on the move now. That defense kind of spurned them and got him the ball back. Now they're on the move.
One back behind Cam, 1st and 10, 20-yard line. Cam takes a look. Throws one across his body. What a beautiful play call that was. You talk about an athlete. He was running due northeast, and he throws it directionally southwest. How's that?
Great design.
Great design, and must have been watching Aaron Rodgers kind of spin it off that hand. One body's part's going this way and the arm's going this way, but a good strike and another great gain on 1st down.
What a great catch. Carl Jones standing straight up, close to the tight end position. Look out. And that was finally picked in red. And I'll tell you what, J.J. Hernandez had said enough of that.
Yeah, and that looks serious. He's not moving right now, VP.
We will take a break here. 1:27 left in the half, 3rd and 2, but we have a Driller down. We'll be back here on Kern High Network.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do my banking online and at the ATM. And with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide, Kern Schools is always close by.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
As a millennial, for me, it's all about the mobile. And I'm somewhere in between. I still do everything online or through an ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our low mortgage rates, including 60-day rate lock and no cost to you. Purchase or refinance your home today.
Kern Schools, together we have something special.
Well, just like the last play, we're going option, but Cam is throwing it instead of pitching it. When you're throwing it on a line like that, it's such a hard catch to where the running back doesn't have an opportunity to look up the field. And that was just a great play by the outside linebacker, beating the tackle to the spot.
That's the best way to describe it. It was a great play by the linebacker. He was accounted for in the scheme to block him, but he just was a better athlete and beat you across the face. Luckily, as you said, the receiver got up, and it's a positive that he got to the sideline.
3rd and 4. Cam looking for some space. Gets to the 10, but he needed to get to the 9, and that's going to be 4th and 1 yard.
Well, I think it's 4th down territory, because you definitely don't want to just keep giving the ball back to a team like Sierra Canyon. We're fighting an uphill battle. We got a timeout, drillers.
Coach Gola takes a timeout, gives me a great opportunity to thank, first of all, the United States Army. You talk about an entity that is so deeply ingrained in what we're doing here at the Kern High School District, the United States Army. Thank you so much for being such a part of our entrances, our gates.
My son leaves next week to the Army, VP.
Salute. We want to thank Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, a name synonymous with our athletes and our student athletes at every level here, and especially the Kern High School District. Thank you, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. I'm a member. I'd like to thank Motor City. Motor City is just everywhere. You talk about a group of individuals that love this community and support it in so many ways, and they support the Motor City Minute, And then finally, Tony's Pizza. The Tony's Pizza Player of the Game will be awarded tonight. Man, I've got 2 super stud former football players and coaches. I'm going to maybe go 40%, and I'll take 20% on the Tony's Pizza. Here we go, 4th and 1. Big 4th down here for the Drillers. Minute 6 left. They want a touchdown, but they need to get 1 yard at least to keep this drive going. Quarterback Cameron Williams. Do they get it? They do.
It's just like we talked about, Kirk, where you want to give Cam an opportunity to make a play with his feet in those crucial moments.
Well, you trust him with the football. He knows your offense inside and out, and more importantly, you know he's going to secure the ball for whatever you want to do. So Coach Gola just says, here's the ball, find your hole, get us a 1st down, and let's get in the end zone before the half.
Clock below a minute. 1st and goal from the 7. Williams behind center. Quick toss, and was it a backwards pass? Oh, gosh, incomplete to Wesley Wilson. Looked like Wilson didn't even know it was coming.
Well, it looked like he definitely heard some footsteps, if not, or remembered the play about 5 plays ago where his partner in crime got knocked to the turf. So definitely ill-advised either way. Luckily, it was a forward pass, and that's another, as you made the point, a great job by the quarterback making sure it's a forward pass. We see it too many times. They get lazy, and it's a lateral. Now all of a sudden we got a scoop and score situation.
Great point. And it's also a situation where you hope Coach doesn't call that play again because those outside linebackers are sitting on that.
They're ready to eat out there.
Okay, now Williams in the shotgun. No, it's Jones. Jones looking to pound it through. And Williams, Cameron's the receiver out on that. That was a quick little switch there. And that clock is rushing, 38, 37. BHS has 1 timeout left. 3rd and goal from the 7. Cameron wants to run it himself, cuts back up, gets to the 2 yard line. And the clock continues to tick. They do have one timeout left. It's under 20 seconds now.
Plenty of time.
Cameron gets everybody behind him. He's in the shotgun now, 13 seconds. Williams takes the snap, and whistles fly, and no touchdown. Sorry, that is Carl Jones, no touchdown, and I don't think the Drillers were ready for that. So
they're going to get the wide receiver. I don't think he was set. They were hopping around, and he was worried about what the play call was and didn't get set up there, so they're going to back him up. So now you got an interesting situation with 9.4 Vance in a high school game. I think you got to kick the football, but it'll be interesting to see what Coach Gola does.
Well, Torres runs out with the tee, the senior kicker, and he's a good one. But a timeout also called. I thought that Coach Ellinghaus wanted to stop the clock. He does not, so it will be a 25-yarder.
Yeah, and I'm surprised we didn't use our last timeout because, I mean.
Well, he used it now, I guess.
Yeah, but, you know,
referee timeout.
You want to call that when you're 4th and goal on the 1. Give you guys an opportunity to settle down. Get on the same page.
Well, let's not forget that the holder is the all-area future Washington Husky, Cameron Williams. So, you see me working, Casey?
I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
KB's not buying it at all.
I guarantee you he's looking at 21-10 and licking his chops.
I agree.
He makes a mistake here and does that and give them all the momentum that they've earned in the last 6 minutes of football where they got played. They really got outplayed for the first 2/3 of the football game. The last 8 minutes, they've really seized momentum here if they make this.
You're right, Kirk, because it could very easily be 28-0 instead of 21-7 right now. So 21-10 sounds good.
Torres for the 25-yarder. The clock starts. There's the perfect snap, perfect hold, and it's blocked. They got it. They got it.
And I'm going to tell you why they got it, because it looked like we were a man short without a wing on the left-hand side.
DJ Harvey sliced through, dove in there, nicked the ball, and that is about as a deflating finish of a first half as the Drillers could have.
Yeah, Sierra Canyon can't get the ball set on the ground and can't go set hut and take a knee as fast as they can and get out because, as you said, as I tried to say, the momentum had switched and flipped in the football game, and now one little tip, a missed assignment. It looked like they had 11 out there, but they looked like they had the wing to the bottom of the field, the short side of the field instead of the wide side of the field, and it makes that edge so much shorter for him to just scream down and take it off his foot.
Yeah, I would love to see that on a replay just to see what the alignment was, because there was one wing, like you said, to the right side, no wing on the left side, and it's a short corner for a guy coming off the edge. You're licking your chops when that happens.
You just got to come and take it off his foot, and he did. He got enough of it to knock it down.
21-7 is the score. The Trailblazers up by 2 touchdowns. It's halftime. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, if you don't think I'm going to take advantage of having these two guys with me at half, we're going to have some chats. We're going to discuss quite a bit here on Kern High Network. BHS Trails 21-7, back in a few minutes.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do my banking online and at the ATM. And with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide, Kern Schools is always close by.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
As a millennial, for me, it's all about the mobile. And I'm somewhere in between. I still do everything online or through an ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our low mortgage rates, including 60-day rate lock and no cost to you. Purchase or refinance your home today.
Kern Schools, together we have something special.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good, and you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit.
After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
A lot of more hands-on activities, a lot more about woodworking and what to do, how to make a career for myself.
It's not only for guys. I am actually learning how to make cupboards and put everything together, like drawers, cabinets. It's really fun, actually.
Yeah, well, It's really amazing to see their growth over the course of a year and how they can come in with no real skill at all and leave being able to actually produce furniture and cabinetry.
Houses need cabinets, businesses having a pool of resources or kids that have some knowledge in the industry would be real good.
Pull down on that. Let's slide these up. Watch fingers.
It's changed a lot. What I'm seeing here is what it's going towards. The CNC equipment, computers. I could actually build cabinets out of this shop. It's state of the art. It really is.
I am constantly looking for students that have been through these programs. It's always nice to have a person that has some experience. It's a lot easier to train. I think we're fortunate in Bakersfield that the Kern High School District has invested in a program like this. I would encourage other businesses to partner up with the Kern High School District like I've done here, because this really shows you what can be done if business comes together with the Kern High School District.
This is where we're going to train the kids to actually get jobs in the industry. We're going to give them the basic tools that they need, also the skills that they need to understand where they fit into the industry.
All the animated things, because we have everything that we need in the scenes.
They are learning the principles of animation, Photoshop. They're learning how to animate in 2D and 3D. And when you swap to that shape, then you're just going to drag these over here.
The storyboard aspect of creating basically the skeleton of the story
and then just sort of directing people in my vision of what I want in the story. And it's also giving me the advantage of Mr. Pollard, since he's worked at so many companies, being able to put it in my resume and be like, this is the art direction I've received.
I was shearing my lamb for fair. I have 2 lambs.
This lamb is stubborn.
Taking care of animals is you feed them twice a day, make sure they have water, walk them, make sure they're ready for fair.
Vet science is the first year before you can actually go into animal science, and it's a lot of like hands-on with the different animals, and you get to learn different things such as giving shots, castrating, all that fun stuff. For me, wanting to be a vet when I'm older, it helped prepares me. All the stuff that I'm learning in ag is definitely going to help me.
I'm in ag communications. Anything that you see on the Facebook page is what we do, and pictures, and we do all the posters that are around campus, anything that just promotes ag.
Our students are all part of the FFA organization, and through that we have a chapter officer team. We do monthly chapter meetings because we're trying to get them involved outside of class. They can find something that they're interested in, and they need something that's going to hook them so that they're ready for life after high school.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, the animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us, is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit.
After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had a chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
We're in manufacturing engineering. We design parts, 3D parts, 2D parts, we create assemblies.
It's helping me get training in all of this stuff, like the computer programs that we have here, the machines that we have here. We learn a lot of math in here, mostly geometry and fractions, because I love math. That's why I'm in this class.
Mr. Lemmy, he's a great instructor.
So the problem is this piece itself.
He really goes hands-on with us. He helps us as much as we can. We've learned a lot from him.
Right now we're supplying students that are skilled in the safety, basic operation of machine work, and then they also leave with some soft skills. They understand they have to be on time. They understand that they have to get up and talk to people. Most of them are walking out of here with a solid foundation in the entry level of a trade.
Welcome back, everybody. Halftime here at Griffith Field, downtown Bakersfield, BHS. The score is 21-7. The Trailblazers of Sierra Canyon up by 2 touchdowns. Kenny, you mentioned a couple minutes ago, could be 28-0. Kirk Boyer said, look, should be 21-14 just because of the momentum that the Drillers had. Let me bring my 2 partners in here. We'll start with you, Kenny Calvin. Kenny, your thoughts on the first half?
It's definitely an example of why it's important to eliminate mistakes early, because the defense played pretty well early, but they had those early first quarter, first drive penalties that gave momentum to Sierra Canyon. You know, and if you're part of this audience, you can tell where it's a game where we possibly could be winning this thing, but we're just not doing the little things. And sometimes if you're not doing the little things, you take big losses.
KB?
Well, I just think the ability for Sierra to kind of stick with their game plan and attacking that Driller defense that's coming at them from all angles and sticking to a little bit more run game than I'm sure Coach Gold was surprised that they ran the football as much as they did, coming in as a kind of a wide open, we're going to flip it and spin it, and they didn't. They lined up and ran against the Drillers and had success. I don't want to say they weren't physically prepared, but maybe BHS wasn't mentally prepared playing a Division III team out of Los Angeles, that they weren't ready mentally to kind of come in, and they were ready for one kind of game plan, which was throw the ball all over the field man to man, and this is going to play into our hands, and then they lined up and kind of smashed them in the mouth. But that defense did battle back and give them an opportunity, and they still had an opportunity to make it 21-10 at the half, Vance, but a missed kick, maybe a missed assignment here. It'll be interesting, though. The Drillers do get the ball to start the second half, Vance, so they can come out and reestablish that momentum that they created that last 6 minutes, because really the first 2/3 of the first half were kind of dominated by Sierra.
Kirk, if you're Coach John Ellinghaus, what are you telling your Trailblazers as they leave that locker room back there?
Well, first and foremost, I'm giving those big guys, I'm getting them some water and some Gatorade and getting them off their feet so they go, because this athletic front's going to test them in the second half. And as you said, Kenny, they're going to come at them from some different angles and some athletes that might be able to run a little bit faster than they can. So get your hands inside, slow your feet down, and if you do lose contain, let your hands drop, because the offensive holding kind of killed them and really stalled them out to where they could have taken control.
Kenny, you've been underneath this structure many, many, many times in that locker room down there. And before the Drillers run out here, what is Coach Gola telling them?
Coach Gola is reminding them what it means to represent for the people who came out here to see you. You definitely know that this wasn't the best brand of Bakersfield High football that we saw in the first half, so you're challenging your team to look within themselves to find the best version of themselves to perform in the second half. And you kind of get away from X's and O's in some of these experiences when you're down and you have the missed opportunities. So right now it's just finding the character and the heart of who wants to continue to compete. Not about X's and O's, it's about heart in the second half.
League play next week. So as Kirk mentioned, this is an opportunity to get prepared for the beginning of league, and I think it's going to be a very entertaining second half, because you've got the Drillers now thinking, really, what do we have to lose other than go out there and play some smash-mouth football and try to get back in this thing? You got the Trailblazers with a 2-touchdown lead. Will they be conservative? Will they milk the clock? I don't think so. They've got a quarterback that likes to spin it, and they've had success already. So that makes for an exciting second half of football. Before we go too far, fellas, I want to make sure that all of our viewers and listeners out there are aware of our Achieve magazine. It's an award-winning magazine. It's already won an award. It's only been out for about a year. You talk about a loaded magazine, and it goes through every high school in the current high school district, all of the, some of the great alumni from the different schools. Elise Ferreira is in there now, and she's still at Liberty, and you've got these great athletes from all over the district in here, and some great memories in the back of the book. So let's not forget about the Achieve magazine. Appreciate everybody picking those up at Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. You can also get them at the Kern High School District. And we're about to get underway here. Before we go too much further, last night on Kern High Network. Bakersfield High School Driller volleyball team had a 5-set win over their arch rival Garces. That was right here on Kern High Network. You can go back and watch that in the archives if you'd like. Next week will be league play. We'll have more volleyball in there and football in there. But also last night, in the second quarter, they roll out Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns pick up a win for the first time since 1981 or 1980 or 1979. I'm being facetious, but first of all, KB, was it too early or was it ready or was it Baker? Is it Mayfield time?
It was dictated by injury, so it didn't really matter if it was too early or too late. When Tarad went down on the sideline and kind of took a big shot and had to go through concussion protocol and didn't come back out for the second half, you were kind of, here it is, go get the keys. And he came in and threw 2 darts in the first series, and then you saw that crowd get fired up, and he kind of willed them back just with his energy into the game. So I think you're going to see Baker Mayfield time.
And a 2-point conversion he catches.
Wow.
Kenny Calvin. A couple of weeks ago, we opened up our season at Mount Sac. Our halftime guest was Mike Waffle of the Bakersfield College Renegade 1976 Junior Rose Bowl National Championship team, but he also did a lot of coaching in the NFL, and he was talking about his good buddy John Gruden, and he was talking about, the Oakland Raiders and all this and that, and that was one day after Khalil Mack had said goodbye, and I didn't bring it up. I didn't ask him about it. What's happened in Oakland, Kenny?
Well, being a former player, I had a soft spot in my heart when the Raiders didn't give me a workout. But I've always been a diehard Raider fan as a kid.
So what's happening with them?
It's definitely disappointing. You get rid of the greatest pass rusher that we've ever had in this decade, and now we put ourselves in a position to challenge our newly glued together secondary to cover guys a second longer in a league that doesn't allow that. So definitely a tough position. Oh, man, y'all had to bring up my Raiders.
Oh, you brought them up early. You said something. Look, I know I can throw anything at you two, and we're going to be able to chat about it, but you rolled out the red carpet for the Raider talk.
Yeah, I did.
Look, I didn't even bring up any college football. I didn't even
I will say this. It's going to be a great thing to see how they transition to the second half of the season because 0-2 teams don't usually make the playoffs.
18%.
Oof. Well, how about this? Another long boot, and the second half will start with the Drillers and the football, and they trail by 2 touchdowns. I'm Vance Palmer. We've got Kirk Boyer and Kenny Calvin with me. A real treat tonight. The stars just aligned with everybody's schedules, and then we had a technical difficulty with the West-South game, so we're able to have a 3-man booth. Hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Kevin Willie always with us here with the main crew. And just like old times, Kevin, myself, Kirk Boyer, and Stan Green set this deal up a couple years ago in about 109-degree weather at Frontier.
That ain't gonna lie.
And here we are. Right, here we are a couple years later. Cam in trouble, but makes a nice move and picks up 5 yards the hard way, and that means a trailblazer on his back.
Just was Cam being Cam right there. Read it as a keep, kept it on the outside, was really dead man to rights with the outside linebacker, shook him, and was able to turn it into a 6-yard gain, Kenny.
Yeah, and Sierra Canyon's not going to come out doing too many different things on defense. They've stayed in that 40-even front, 4-4 defense with 3 deep covers, challenging them to throw the ball, basically.
You're exactly right with that. They are definitely trying to challenge them to throw the football vertically.
Bad pass. And
that's a lateral.
They're going to say that is.
That's a lateral, guys.
Trailblazer football, and this would be an absolute atrocious start to the third quarter.
White Hat's confused. He's going to the side judge.
And the side judge gave the nod that it was going to be. Was he pointing driller ball, or was he pointing that it goes to Trailblazers? And here comes the line judge.
Oh, boy.
And they're going to, I assume they're going to bring him in for his optics on it. And it's going to be. I don't know. He's going to bring the football over here to the close hash. Oh. Incomplete pass. Ooh, boy.
Wow.
Kenny, I agree with you absolutely. I didn't want to say anything. I thought it was definitely a lateral. I thought the Drillers just got a great gift right there on second down because he turned that time and had that open foot and threw it backwards.
Kurt, you said something all night about running back staying horizontal to the line. That time we saw our quarterback's shoulders come out of the horizontal playing to go backwards on the throw. You know, definitely a bit of home cooking right there, but I like it.
And the referee just stopped the clock real quick to make sure they're all lined up correctly. Guys, just from my perspective, they just haven't had a lot of success with that play tonight, but they keep going back to it.
And that's the question. You know, why would you continue to put your players
the one
in
vertical
that
ball
position?
that they did try to throw, that was a great little pass, a great little strike that they got off on time.
They read it perfectly. Cam's in trouble, and Cam is going to have to try to get out of trouble. Throws it into no man's land and caught by Coach Gola. Nice hands by Paul, but they read it, and I heard the defensive staff above us that for Sierra saying, we got it at the snap of the football.
They knew what they got when they brought the outside linebacker on that blitz from that side. But the one thing Cam's got to know is where his dump is and where he can't run back into pressure. There he tried to reverse the field and go to the wide side. Well, that's where all the defensive backs and the outside linebackers coming from in that situation. Keep to the front side where your read was, and if it's not there, throw it away. But he threw it away, incomplete pass, punt the football.
Our first punt of the evening. It's a wobbler, nobody back there to get it, and it takes a pretty good BHS bounce to about the 34-yard line. So
second one for the Drillers, Vance, but the first one went bad. Remember, it bounced back on
a little
that
fumble.
Was the
turnover.
Oh, how do I forget that? You're right, KB.
Well, on that last play, like Kirk said, they're bringing an outside linebacker to defensive end, and he did a great job staying high. And what I mean by staying high, you're staying on the outside top shoulder of the quarterback, preparing for him to roll in the event that it's a play action. Cam's just a heck of an athlete to be able to get that away. But it's a great job by the outside linebacker / defensive end.
Trailblazers get the football back.
Scores across the area: West High 0, South 13. Delano 7, Wasco 14.
Peary on their first play. Oh, huge gain. And it could be more. Uh-oh. And the speedster runs by everybody, stiffs arms a couple of Drillers, and he's finally forced out of bounds. But Gable,
great call and little slip screen to the wide side of the field, get our athlete in space one-on-one. That Driller defense attacks and gets through, but it doesn't matter as it's out of the quarterback's hands, and a great gain for Sarah on the first play.
Oh, boy.
And we've talked about our speedy defensive line. The one way you beat a speedy defensive line is you throw screens.
That's absolutely right.
1st and 10 from the Driller 25-yard line.
Canyon at the 25-yard line.
And they stay inside the hash marks, and it's Sumlin, 5-yard gain.
Couple opportunities to throw the football. Now you just come back and try to pound the middle of that defense and keep that Driller defense off balance.
Yeah, and it's going to be important for the backside defensive ends to be playing cutback, because that's what they're doing.
How about this sophomore quarterback? Jaden Peary.
6'2", 197, really good-looking kid, Vance.
Calm, cool, collected, and puts it in the hands of the workhorse. And
Kenny, you called that right there. Make sure the backside stays home. They ran the zone to the play side, just cut it back all the way across the formation. Somebody ran across the top of the defense to try to make a play, and then they go hit their head.
Yeah, and that's where you want to encourage guys to play with their eyes. You don't want to just be flying past guys. Connect, separate, extend your arms, and find the ball. It's kind of like what we talked about earlier.
Well, and as much as it's frenetic on defense for the Drillers, everybody has a gap that they're assigned to stay in, as you said. Don't do someone else's job, do your job. And in that case, the backside's got to squeeze down to keep that from bouncing and let alone get into vertical, but minimizing the gain, and they didn't there. And now the Drillers are in a little bit of trouble.
It's up and it's good.
Touchdown, and PAT is good. 28-7. We'll take a quick breather. We'll be back right after this on Kern High Network.
California's largest Buick GMC dealer, Motor City, has the best offer on your new professional-grade GMC Sierra. Get up to $7,500 in total savings on the Sierra 2500 or 3500 HD Crew Cab Denali. Or drive away the Sierra half-ton Crew Cab SLT with up to $11,000 in savings. Go online to MotorCityGMC.com for all the details. Welcome to the city, Motor City. California's largest Buick GMC dealer.
Coverage of high school sports. It's been volleyball Tuesdays and Thursdays, and tonight it's football at BHS.
It's kickoff time.
My partners Kirk Boyer and Kenny Calvin with me, and the Drillers are down 27-7. Ball is taken at the goal line. Let's see if they can get some good field position here out of Carl Jones. And he gets to about the same spot here. Okay, Kirk Boyer, what are you cooking up over here?
I think Coach Gold at this point down, again, he waited in the first half with, 9:59. There's a lot of time, 3 timeouts and this kind of that. But he had a little bit of success with that boot action pass game because they've had some success running the football inside. Even though they went 3 and out on the last series, you might want to see that play action pass and get your athletic quarterback out on the edge where he can throw the football and get this defense to slow down on some of their angles.
On this defense, Kenny, the Trailblazers, what's their recipe?
No, they're keeping it simple. This is probably one of the most basic defenses I've seen in my broadcast career. 40 even front, 4-4 defense with a 3 deep cover behind it, challenging teams to throw the ball, and we haven't really thrown it much or well at all, so why change it?
Well, the 3 times that they've had a little bit of success because against that 4-3, if you can protect it when they do bring the linebacker, which they do for the 5th man to bring the pressure, but you're trying to put that safety in a bind in center field, and they have not attacked the middle of the football field, but once inside the red zone at the 34-yard line on the little quick hot pass right up the middle. So it'll be interesting to see what BHS can do. Coach Gola will have a plan, and his offensive staff will figure something out, but I think at this point you might want to take the kid gloves off and try to go after it.
Very quickly, I want to let everybody know that Mark Tennis is the editor of Cal High Sports. He wrote a book called High School Football in California. High School Football in California, and he's doing a signing tomorrow at Barnes & Noble, 2 o'clock. High school football in California. We're living it right now. Nice strong run to the 35-yard line. You know, the naked eye, you walk in here, if you just came in and didn't look anywhere else but the field, the Trailblazers road unis look a lot like the Drillers.
Yeah, and I'm still getting used to the gray.
Yeah, aren't we all trying to call numbers up here?
2nd down.
2nd and 5. Drillers need to put something together here and get in this end zone. Quarterback Cameron Williams headed to play for the Washington Huskies at QB. Handoff right at the middle. Oh, and it's a big, strong run. Look at this. Wesley Wilson. Wilson trying to get to the outside. Some good blocking downfield. And that's nice.
Wilson's the littler version of that fullback in that set, so he gets up in there and almost gets lost, Vance, in that A-gap and bursts through it. So much for spreading and trying to throw and attack this 3-high shell. They're just going to line up and run dive with 2 different backs, 50, 60 yards. Now you're first down inside the 35-yard line.
Woo, just what the doctor ordered for the Drillers. 1st and 10, ball at the 25-yard line. Another strong run right up the middle of the football field. And I'm not even going to go with the Jekyll Hyde thing. It's not that drastic. But boy, you look at this Driller team that gets stagnant for a few, and they look like they're just trying to kind of suss things out, and then bam, 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 bam.
Well, I like the fact that they continue to run the football because there's still a lot of football left to be played.
Well, and that's what Coach Gola wants to do. He wants to establish the run, and as you said, early in the football game, he knows what he's going to do. He's going to line up and start the game with the dive option right in the A-gap.
This time, it looks like it's Cam that keeps it himself and gets piled up on by a bunch of Trailblazers. 8:45 to go in the 3rd quarter. 28-7. If you're just getting with us, the Trailblazers have been in control for a while now. Some miscues by the Drillers early. And that was after the Trailblazers had a nice drive, scored. And the Drillers have had some stub your toe moments, but they've also had some electrifying moments. If they can increase the latter and decrease the former, things are going to work here. 2nd and 8 from the 14-yard line. Williams throws. Bad pass.
Pass incomplete.
Incomplete, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 8. Ooh, 3rd and 8 quickly became 3rd and down.
Yeah, and that was a dangerous quick slant as you had the safety beaming down. You know, it's behind them, but, you know, it's kind of like a bracket coverage where they may be doubling that outside guy. Tough spot to try to put that pass. 3rd and 9 for the Drillers.
Cam keeps it himself, gets tripped up, and this Trailblazer defense, Well, that is just not easy to try to figure out all of the different options that are going to come at you with this offense. And now here's an interesting look here. 4th and 6. Ball is at the 10-yard line. 4th and 6.
First down marker around the 4-yard line.
Under 8 minutes here left in this third quarter.
4th down and 6.
Definitely think you got to try to work a little bit outside here. The linebacker should be coming downhill on 4th and 6.
Carl Jones way out here to the right side. Big play for the Drillers tonight. They go right up the middle with it. Big, strong run and fumble. Will they say he's down? The line judge says he's down. Oh, that ball popped out.
Well, he's short anyway, so turnover on downs.
Yep.
You know, and a very interesting call with the read option dive when you need 6 yards. You take the ball out of your best playmaker's hands when you need him to perform, and that's frustrating for this quiet crowd.
And now you have Peary, the quarterback that's going to come out here, and he's been a great game manager tonight. And he's been able to control the tempo and the pace of that offense. And with 7:23 left in the third quarter and the ball's on the 5-yard line, now it's all about, hey, let's have some fun, see what we can do here for 95 yards.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if they try to run against this front from the Drillers that's kind of been in and out on them and try to chew some of that clock.
Try to get him to jump. They don't.
You know, as players, when you see calls that were made, you know, as they run the read option and he's stopped for a loss, I want to go back a couple of snaps and reflect on conversions. You know, you have a 4th and 6. You definitely want to do the best to give your team an opportunity to make a play. You know, and that's one of the things that frustrates players and changes their body language in games like this when you still have time to compete. You know, so it'll be a character test for some of the young guys to see who wants to still get after it.
And Kenny, it's right now with 6:47 in the third. It's right now. 2nd and 10. Peary stands on the goal line. Drops back in the end zone. Lets it fly, fires one. Oh, it was dropped. Hit him right in the numbers, well beyond the first down marker. It was a dart, and it was dropped by DJ Harvey.
Harvey hit him. A great little skinny post route vertically up the field right there. Hit him right in the hands, as you said. Would have been about a 22-yard gain, but fell down incomplete. I think the free safety quarterback down. Hopefully it looks like he's just stretching himself out.
Yeah, it looked like he may be cramping a bit, hopefully. No, it doesn't seem to be in too much pain.
Again, we want to thank. Oh, sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I want to thank United States Army, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Motor City, and Tony's Pizza. The Tony's Pizza Player of the Game award will go out at the end of tonight's game. Thank you to Tony's Pizza. Let's talk some more sports. KB, Tiger in the lead after today or no?
Yeah, he made double on 16 on 17, 16 today. Finished par birdie to have a share of the lead with the #1 player in the world, Justin Rose.
Wow.
So Tiger's in the mix.
That's the most exciting thing in golf a week before the Ryder Cup happens.
Yeah. Wow. So Jernigan's up.
Maybe ankle, maybe. Looks like he's all right, though. 6:32 remaining to play in the third quarter. Drillers in a huge 21-point hole, VP.
Well, it's a big third down here, but we've seen all night long this Trailblazer team with longer odds than this just be poised and controlled and pick up the yards they need. So what will this defense for the Drillers do?
Well, the one thing I haven't seen is a pick. You know, we came into the game with 5 interceptions. You know, haven't had an opportunity to get our hands on the ball.
They stay on the ground and nothing to a big hit. A pickup and a drive down. Was that Isaiah Jernigan? Ooh, what
that looked like Cam. And I got to say this. I just said, in a game like this, you're going to find out which players have the heart and passion to continue to compete. And right there, Cameron lets you know why he's going to the next level after this season. He's not going to give up.
He'll be playing defense. What they say is he'll be playing defense for the Washington Huskies. And we have a BHS driller playing for
Jones
Reno
and Bell back
that's making
to
some
return.
big noise on defense.
Nephew.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that. KB and I called his high school games. I still think he goes down as one of the great drillers of all time, Sonny Rufus. How about this? 4th and 9. Carl Jones stands at the Trailblazers' 40-yard line. Low snap, bad snap, bobbled. Oh, he picks it up, and it's a bad boot. And it's going to go out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. So I'll tell you what, he played a great shortstop role. That could have bounced anywhere and done anything, and he still got it off. But, hey, fellas, here's the opportunity you've both been talking about.
Well, the bigger thing was that's why I guess you ran the dive option. You knew you were going to get him a 3-and-out situation, 2 incomplete passes to stop the clock and get the ball back on the 30-yard line. So, again, an opportunity here for the drillers to kind of get back into this thing. It's only a 21-point disadvantage with 5:33 here in the third. Plenty of football left to be played, but you got to get a touchdown here.
Yes.
1st and 10 drillers, ball at the 30-yard line of the Trailblazers. So great opportunity here for the drillers. Hard count, nobody goes. Cam pitches out here, and it's a wild pitch, and he runs out of space. And I'll tell you what, that was
Kenny, I tell you what, we talked about it. You've talked about the horizontal stuff and the stuff on the side. Everything that they've tried to get horizontally just hasn't really been clicking tonight, and they've kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Absolutely, and it goes back to what we said about opening up the playbook. You can't continue to go to things that aren't working for you and putting the ball in play on the ground.
Lost 3 yards, 2nd and 13. Strong run on the near hash. Picks up maybe 6 yards, but it was a 3-yard loss before that, so I think it's going to be 3rd and 7.
And if you're Sierra Canyon, you're saying, thanks, Bakersfield High. I appreciate you continuing to keep that package simple because we're just going to stay in this base defense and challenge you to beat us on the ground.
3rd and 7, 5 minutes exactly left in the third quarter. Cameron keeps, takes on a couple of DBs and gets to the 25-yard line, 2 hard yards.
You know, I played for a team in OBU in Arkansas where we ran veer option, 3 running backs, Oklahoma Sooner style. We had one of the best receivers in the state, my roommate, Damian Harris, who ended up getting drafted by the Cowboys. He would have like 4 catches for 90 yards a game. When you got weapons like that on the outside, eventually you got to try to get him the ball.
4th and 4, massive 4th down here with 4:25 left in the third quarter. Cam, no, doesn't get it. They were waiting for the pitch as well, and the big fella thinks he's got a fumble. It doesn't matter. You got the football, big guy.
Yeah, and again, Kurt, we talked about giving the offense an opportunity to make plays, and I don't see us doing that running veer option when you need more than 5 yards. Their defensive line has done a pretty good job against the run, right?
Well, Kenny, I think you're exactly right. And the great job you mentioned earlier about the ends and the outside linebackers. The end sets that edge of that defense in that 4-4. Now you're letting the outside linebacker run free, and that's the guy that's making the football plays whenever the quarterback does try to keep. That's the one adjustment that Sierra Canyon has made. They've now set the end to make him set the edge of the defense, and now my outside linebacker's just reading the quarterback.
Yep.
Well, Trailblazers take over on a 1st and 10. Peary hands the ball off, and drillers do a good job of wrapping up Hunter Williams.
Really good job of the defense there, but again, just that zone cutback. They're trying to get full flow to the short side of the field there and then cut it back against the grain. Everybody stayed in their lane and did a really good job of minimizing that gain. But here, Sierra Canyon's kind of in that spot where their coach is thinking, hey, if we can get 2 first downs and get out of this quarter, now we'll get into the fourth quarter with a 21-point lead. They haven't shown anything pass-wise that really scares us.
Yes, and as a defense, you're extremely frustrated because you're like, come on, coach, we need you to give us a chance to rest.
2nd and 8, short little pitch inside the lines, and that was a lot of movement for about a yard, and E.J. Gable made a little bit out of nothing there, but the clock continues to race.
Well, VP, I will say this. The defense has done a phenomenal job after being placed in bad position after bad position by the lack of offensive execution. So, you have one side of the staff that's doing a great job with the chess match. Well, I won't say a great job, a good job, but it's definitely one of those things where you got to come together as an offense on the sideline and say, what are we going to do differently to get results?
3rd down.
Well, here's an opportunity to get the football back, maybe under 3 minutes to go here on a 3rd and 6. Nobody here on the left side, but Peary rolls to his right, has time, flings one out there, and it is a caught first down and more to the 47-yard line.
Trips open, flood, Vance, outside receivers running the corner route, clearing the zone out. The inside receivers running the 12-yard out route with the underneath receiver just running the arrow routes, really stretching the defense in that zone. A nice little easy pitch and catch. And the biggest thing is for the quarterback is getting him outside the pocket and running away from the pressure that's inside.
Know what else I saw on that, Kurt? They're doing such a great job running the football that the free defensive end and outside linebacker had a free rush lane to the quarterback, and they're hesitant because they're still wondering, is this really a pass?
Yes.
Well, and the guy that's running this whole thing, Peary, the sophomore, what a future in front of him. 1st and 10, ball's at the 45-yard line. That did not go well on that run play, and the Drillers pounce all over it, and it's going to be a loss of 3. Nothing doing there. Have not seen the ball aired out a lot for the Drillers. We know Cam can spin it, and he can spin it well, but they have kept this ball on the grass quite a bit.
Vance, I'm not a betting man. I spent most of my gambling time as a high school student, so I don't gamble much no more, but I would be willing to bet that we don't have 50 yards passing.
Well, we had maybe right about that. Maybe right at that with that one long pass play. So 141 and counting. Right now the Trailblazers content to work this clock. They're up 3 touchdowns, 28-7. Peary drops back, straight back. He gets hit, and he goes down.
There's the big rush by Bakersfield.
They ran the screen twice tonight, trying to do a good job of using that misdirection in the run game to try to set up the screen. But the one thing is that weak side outside linebacker has been sitting on the screen. A great play by that Driller defense again, Kenny.
Well, I got to say this. I'm getting goosebumps hearing the names of these Golden Empire youth football players out here making plays, because the first time I saw most of these kids were when I was announcing for the youth football leagues on the old field.
That was Jaden Sanchez, Kenny.
Jaden Sanchez. Great job, young man. Proud
Under
of
a minute left in this third quarter, 3rd and 22. Peary takes a look, fires one, and it is caught, and it is a first down, and it is a strike right across the middle of the football field. First down, Trailblazers.
Great job of the quarterback climbing up in the pocket. A young quarterback sometimes gets a little bit hesitant around the rush. The Drillers brought 5. The offensive line was able to spread him out, but he climbs in the pocket, allows the post to come all the way across the field, Vance, and a strike.
And we talked about this, Vance, a couple weeks ago in Mount Sac. When you're playing man coverage, you have to protect the inside routes. Like you're defending inside routes like your life depended on it, and making the outside routes more available because they're harder throws. But you give up inside leverage, and that's going to usually convert first down.
Well, that's a big, big first down. 1st and 10, Peary takes a look, throws it out to the far side, and a couple of nifty moves, and it's a 3 or 4 yard gain for J.J. Hernandez, and that's going to do it for the third quarter. No score in the third quarter. 28-7, nobody got in the end zone, but we have 1/4 quarter remaining right after this on Kern High Network. Back right after this. There was no score, right?
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at GoArmy.com/team.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to.
Fourth quarter action here at Griffith Field, home of the Drillers. I'm Vance Palm. I've got Kirk Boyer and Kenny Calvin with me. Kenny, tomorrow you and I have a 2 o'clock kickoff in Huntington Beach. If I'm not there, I don't know. If it's 74 degrees and the wind is kind of blowing through and I don't show up, it's not going to be hard to figure out where I'm at. We'll talk more about the Renegades in a minute. I want to hear from KB as well on our BC squad. Here we go. Stretch out to the left side here to start this fourth quarter.
The ball carrier is tripped up at the 35-yard
Absolutely
line.
right, Vance. Just a stretch play to the wide side, getting your back in space and trying to let him pick through. He did pick through and fall forward for about 3 or 4. But Kenny, here you are again, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5.
And you got to give some credit to this defense that continues to try to make it tough. But eventually the size of that offensive line is going to wear us down. Here we are in the fourth quarter. This is a huge conversion.
Well, and again, just to start the second half, besides the last drive where you had a little bit of success, this defense has been on the football field a long time tonight.
Yes, they have. That's disappointing.
3rd and 4. Everybody in the backfield. It's a party back there with Peary. What's he going to do with it? He wants to toss it. He looked at his receiver. He was looking over at J.J. Hernandez, who was just kind of standing down here. That was a weird play.
Well, typically, again, the defense will jump on that run fake as he's trying to ride it through. So then he just has a nice, easy, long handoff to one of the receivers. But in that case, they played great man coverage and stayed with it, and the loose defender came through and knocked him off. So kind of a poor read or poor design offensively, but a great play defensively.
Yeah, coverage sack for Adrian Moreno. Great job by the secondary.
Look at this, fellas. 4th and 4.
You're in no man's land.
Right,
4th and 4.
Right. Peary rolls to his right, has a little bit of room, takes a big hit, throws one, and it's almost picked off. Almost picked off.
But once again, Adrian Moreno with the straight running downhill pursuit.
It looked almost like he was spying there, Kenny, but he was coming inside out, as you just talked about, squaring it up, was using the sideline as his leverage, and was going to make sure he got a good shot on the quarterback. Ill-advised pass across the field into the middle of the field. Free safety almost had a chance to make a play. Either way, Driller football here at 10-21, Vance. This is kind of getting to that spot where you got to start to get going down 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, you definitely want to put some trust in your quarterback. He's your team leader. Give him an opportunity to try to make some plays downfield. Because it's an early season. You got a long season to go. You want to actually see what these guys are going to do in the passing game.
Well, it is supposed to prepare you for league as you start league play next week, right, Kenny?
Yes, sir.
1st and 10.
And that was
it's a fumble. Ball's on the ground.
Man.
And it is already picked up and done with.
And this is the point I want to make with read option. Every time you run read option, you put the ball in play for the defense to have an opportunity to get it. Sometimes you want to simplify the offense to give your player an opportunity to make plays downfield, but you can't do that when you're making 3 reads before you can even pick your head up. Well, and that's the trouble.
That's a great point, Kenny, because when you're riding that hip and reading, all of a sudden now it just takes a 1/4-inch wiggle and the ball goes down, and in that case it did. And that Sierra offense is back on the field. And that Driller defense does too.
Oh, whew. Well, you know, it's a learning experience. Like we said, this isn't league. You know, we're specialists at winning league. Great non-conference schedule. Going to give us the opportunity to see what we're made of. But
well, and nowadays it doesn't hurt you seeding playoff-wise and those kind of things. Everybody gets a ticket to the dance and the party. League is where you start with as far as, at least in the central section, not being able to field a whole full bracket. So the Drillers are kind of, as you said, trying to get ready, but it kind of goes to your other point about trying to spread the football around and maybe try some different things to see what you really have as you do head into SWYL play next week.
Yeah, because I haven't seen any kind of combination route since that first throwback that we saw in the first half.
Absolutely.
2nd and 8, Peary. Ball stays on the ground. Oh, boy. And another strong run by E.J. Gable. Gable, as Kurt said, he's 5'9", 165.
Well, and he gets lost behind those big offensive linemen that we've been talking about, and all he does is just kind of wiggle up. That's just a zone read inside, and all he's doing is reading the left butt cheek of that left guard, and if he turns him, then he's going to follow it. If he spins him inside, then he'll go to the right, just dead downhill, and I don't want to belabor the point, but again, that Driller defense has been on the football field a lot this half.
And so what's important for the defense to do when you're getting blocked like that is not continue to lose ground. It may be better to just tuck and roll, because I saw guys being pushed 10 yards deep.
1st and 10, and now they come back to their other weapon back there, J.D. Sumlin.
Sumlin's a good-looking back. He gets square to the line of scrimmage. He makes one decisive cut, and he's going to go. He might not be the home run hitter the other back is, but he's going to be very successful because he always finishes the runs falling forward. And again, 1st down, 4-yard gain. Now you're at 2nd and 6. Your playbook gets a little bit wide, more open. You can do a lot of different things. But I think right now the coach Sarah coach is going to sit there and run the football, Vance, and chew this thing up.
2nd and 6. 8:38 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Drillers in trouble. Peary hands the ball off to Sumlin. Sumlin, a yard, and here comes a couple of late flags. Wow. And they threw them up high, and it was after the play was over, so I hope that all the players are keeping a cool head down there, and it looks as though it's going to be going against the Drillers.
Yeah, and this is where some of the attitude and frustration of being out there so long starts to catch up with you, because now you're taking it out on the other guy after the whistle, and it's probably a case of the second man gets caught.
Always the second man gets caught. Another one of those coaching points we were talking about earlier in the football game.
Oh, and he ejected him.
Yeah, he must have threw a punch.
Coach Gola. And Carl Jones, with 8:23 remaining in this football game, has been ejected.
That cost you a half the next game?
And that's disappointing, because you're going to miss a half in the next game, right? First league game. One of our most explosive weapons, and probably been our most efficient weapon tonight as well.
Ooh. So some serious salt on the wound here for the Drillers, as frankly the Trailblazers are just trying to grind this thing out and finish it out, and now they've been given unbelievable field position, 1st and goal from the 7, and I'm certain that John Ellinghaus is thinking, why not? Let's get in.
Carl has been ejected from the game.
And Carl's a tough kid, so he's one of those guys that's going to still play chippy. He's not going to allow you to cheap shot him. But it's important for him to understand what he means to the team and not sacrifice himself like that. First and goal.
Trailblazers lined up, 1st and goal. It's a run play, and it's close to being a touchdown, and the hard work out there by Sumlin, sophomore.
Sumlin, the ball carrier.
Wow.
Yeah, they got a good sprinkling of sophomores on this football team. It'll be interesting to watch them from afar throughout the rest of the season and see how they do in their league and in the CIF playoffs.
This team, state champion basketball team.
Wow.
The state champion in basketball in 2018.
Sierra Canyon will play Crespi at Pierce Junior College.
Had some great games on that Pierce football field.
7.5 left here in the 4th quarter, and it's all Trailblazers. It's 2nd and goal from the 3. Peary takes the snap, and I don't think they got it off in time.
It's interesting.
Oh, they called a timeout. Okay.
Timeout.
It's interesting how they run that ISO zone play. They bring the receiver all the way from the slot across the formation to pull like he's the guard pulling.
It adds the extra defender in the box that from the backside the defense won't be able to adjust to. So hopefully he can be the extra defender going and leading through on the play, kind of like bringing a fullback into play. Because typically, even if you're in trail man coverage, he's not going to be able to come over the top. And if he does, it's going to be for an 8 or a 10-yard gain.
Absolutely.
Both of these gentlemen talking to you tonight are Kern High School District products and their Bakersfield College Renegades. KC, tomorrow kickoff. Golden West, 2 p.m. We'll be down there in the beautiful sunshine.
I saw the stadium set up,
well,
VP.
You know, there are worse gigs in the world than a football game in Huntington Beach on a weekend, you know,
Absolutely.
The last weekend of summertime. Your thoughts on tomorrow's game with the Renegades?
Well, the one thing I keep hearing about Golden West is how tough they play Fullerton. If you're not familiar with Fullerton, they beat a team 85-0 last week.
85-0.
And the team that we're playing, I think they were within a touchdown or two. in the final. So they're going to surprise us. I hope that we don't take them lightly, being that we're coming off the 56-0 landslide.
Our defense looks good, looks steady, looks strong. Brought a new quarterback in. Won't be playing tomorrow, but there's a lot of moves being made within the Renegades' structure and strategy to get where they need to be after that bye week when league starts. Here we go, 2nd and goal from the 3. Trailblazers from Sierra Canyon up 28-7. They take the whole thing to the left side of the football field, and a great effort out there. Would have been a touchdown. DJ Harvey was looking at the pylon, but he was tripped up out there.
Harvey, the ball carrier.
And that's just great pursuit. We do what's called a pursuit drill. We'll line up on a 20 and go from cone to cone.
More flags. And this is when players aren't even next to each other. Oh, there is one Trailblazer, one very big Trailblazer standing around some DBs.
Unsportsmanlike on the Trailblazers.
Oh, boy, the officials not having it.
And
not having it.
Whereas both coaching staff, you want to take a time to talk to your guys and let them know, hey, regardless of what side of the scoreboard you're on, you want to play with class and have some character. You're representing your school. Don't get out here and be a tool.
Well, and Kenny, you come up I-5, you come down the Grapevine, you're winning, you're beating one of the most storied football schools in California by 3 touchdowns. The game's essentially in your hand. You just want to take it easy and get out of here.
Both of you hit the nail on the head. From both perspectives, from the player and what's really happening in the football game. Keep your composure. We talked about the coaching points. It doesn't do you any good. Luckily, that young man wasn't kicked out of the ball game, but now we've had 2 15-yard penalties in the last 3 minutes when we've had a really good football game besides that.
And on that point, Kurt, it's still 7 minutes to play.
Yeah.
I've seen wilder things happen.
Amen.
You don't want to give a sleeping dog an opportunity to eat when he think he's about to die.
That's right.
Okay, here's the call from the White Hat on sportsmanlike conduct on the Trailblazers. We did not see the umpire "you're out" call, so he's still on the field, and brings us to a 3rd and goal from the 16-yard line. So oddly enough, Peary may put it in the air. He does. He floats into the corner. It's up, and it is broken up out there. Great defensive effort. And really nice pass, actually. So we'll just say that was a superior play on defense. Broke it up.
Wait, just like I talked about earlier, playing through the wrist. When you get there, the first thing you're looking for when a guy has the ball is his wrist.
Well, and then again, the Sierra staff taking a shot on the new player that came in the game.
Exactly.
For the kid that's going to the Pac-12 next year to play football. Hey, we're going to take a shot up here on this guy.
And think about what we talked about Sierra Canyon that we needed to see on our own side of the field. Them taking shots, stretching the field, give your defense and your offense opportunity to make plays.
Here's a 34-yard attempt here. Snap, the hold, the kick. That one's up quickly. And, wow, that looked beautiful. So a nice kick, and it's all the way through. We'll take a short break here on Current High Network. 31-7, Trailblazers all over.
California's largest Buick GMC dealer, Motor City, has the best offer on your new professional-grade GMC Sierra. Get up to $7,500 in total savings on the Sierra 2500 or 3500 HD Crew Cab Denali. Or drive away the Sierra half-ton Crew Cab SLT with up to $11,000 in savings. Go online to MotorCityGMC.com for all the details. Welcome to the city, Motor City.
It's not good going in the league.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up.
Welcome back, everybody. Vance Palm, Kirk Boyer, Kenny Calvin. And right now, the Sierra Canyon Trailblazers are up 31-7. So the Drillers have a long way to go here in a short time I want to remind everybody to stay tuned to Kern High Network. A lot happening. Volleyball next week, North Miramonte. We have football next Friday night, of course. Great volleyball game last night. If you happen to catch the BHS home match against Garces, a 5-set thriller. That's on the archives already if you want to watch that. If you're a driller fan, a volleyball fan, nice one to see. Great action there. And the drillers trying to make something happen here. Cam, pitch, bad pitch, behind him. Went behind him, ball's on the ground. Oh, drillers get it back, but not a good look at all.
Well, Kirk, I know you were supposed to take most of the offensive snaps.
Go, Kenny, go.
Hey, dude, we're 6:20 in the fourth. It's all open now.
Yeah,
go for it.
But, it's just like we just talked about with the read option stuff. You think that's a safe call because you're running the football, but you're putting the ball in play every time you make a read or pitch or give it to the fullback. It's still putting it in play. You might as well throw the fade.
For an outside linebacker, you've struggled to block all night.
There's a nice play for a second, but a flag
on the play.
Thrown by the back judge, and he threw it a long way. He threw it right where the action was.
And their defensive line is doing a great job, like Kirk said, adjusting, because we did such a great job running the football between the tackles early. They started pinching and challenging their defensive ends to play the quarterback, which frees up that outside linebacker to make plays, and that's what's happening. You can't run option football versus a free outside linebacker.
You're already taking one out of play by option in somebody. Now you've got a loose defender running downhill and trying to smack you.
Yes.
So you're exactly right. Got bailed out by a penalty there, Vance, though, to kind of move it back within the realm of possibility here.
2nd and 3.
Face masking call. In the shotgun, Williams looks, fires, and it's caught out here. A nice first down and a little scuffle here, and still in bounds, gets knocked out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. So nice pass out there, caught by Jimmy Henry III.
Just a simple little 5-yard out. We're going to beat you. Perfect throw to the outside shoulder. The outside linebacker's the tough read on the defense there. Quarterback did a good job of throwing it out, throwing him open, turned the shoulders, and a big burst down the sideline.
They move the ball to the 40-yard line. Williams now right behind center. 1st and 10. Right up the middle. What a nice run that was. And another first down to the 26-yard line. A burst right through the offensive line by Wesley Wilson.
Wilson again just on that quick hitter, reading the A-gap, read his guard. If the guard turns him out, he runs right behind him. If the guard turns him in, then he goes right outside of him.
1st and 10. 5:20 in county. Williams flushed out of the pocket, got to go, and he jogs out at about the 27-yard line. They got in there awfully quick.
Yeah, they're staying in that base 4-4 defense, and really, you have a Rip and a Sam, strong side and a weak side backer. They're sending one of those guys every time to protect the boot and keep contained. Second and a long.
He lost
14.
Lost four on it.
Got to appreciate the spirit and the will of the guys that are continuing to compete out there.
Hard count. Nobody goes. Cam, quick fire, and it's almost picked off a couple of times. It bounces off a couple of pairs of hands, a helmet, some shoulder pads, and had it bounced one more wrong way, could have been a pick six for 70 yards. Eek.
Slot double out concept through the underneath out, Vance, just a little bit behind the receiver. That was the receiver tipping it to the DB that almost tipped it to the other DB. So almost, as you said, a big conundrum.
And that's the tough thing about throwing so late. Guys don't have the timing and the concept down because you haven't ran this play all night.
Cam fires to the corner of the end zone, and it is almost caught.
It's a good shot on the vertical ball there to get the safety in the bind. But the thing is, it looked like both receivers were kind of going to the same point, so that allowed those DBs to converge.
Also, Kurt, they know you have to throw now, but if you do that earlier in the game, the linebackers don't have an opportunity to play one-sided football. You never want to give a defense the opportunity to play a one-sided game. because now they're pinning their ears back or they're dropping.
Well,
you're absolutely right there.
4th and 14, guys. 5 minutes to go here in the 4th. Still a lot of time for the Trailblazers to get the ball back. Whistles blow, flags fly.
You know, and getting back to my point about timing, we saw it last year when we were with the Renegades. Changing quarterbacks changes timing. Most important thing about route running from the quarterback to receiver perspective is timing. You don't have good timing if you don't give the guys an opportunity to get reps with that system.
Well, it's a great point about running routes, too. You start to get a little bit lazy. I ain't got one in 10 minutes. I ain't got one in 2 quarters. Now, all of a sudden, I'm running an 8-yard out instead of the 10-yard out.
Man.
And that throws all that timing off, Kenny. You're exactly right.
4th and 19. Williams. A little soft punt, but it's straight up and over in the corner and bounces sideways, and when it rains, it pours.
So Bakersfield downs a punt at the 20-yard line.
Nowadays, with the athletes that we do have, and a lot of them playing with the quarterback position and being athletic, that's an opportunity where you're trying to go quick punt to flip the field to pin them back inside. But I really like it when they turn to the side and kick that rugby kick like a soccer ball and just kind of swoop it out there and get it away from the DBs. And then it can take a bad bounce or a football bounce, as we like to say, and maybe hit somebody in a leg, and you create a quick change situation for your offense. So sometimes that pooch punt doesn't really work.
Yes, and also what it does when you're doing that rugby-style kick, it gives the punter an option to keep going if he sees something, too. So, great point, Kurt.
Especially when it's your best athlete.
Yes.
1st and 10, the Trailblazers from Sierra Canyon. They came in tonight 3-2, and unless something spectacular happens, they're going to get out of here 4-2 with 4:40 remaining in this 4th quarter. It's the school down in Chatsworth, as I mentioned, the Division III state champion in basketball.
They got a good football squad. They got a really good mix of seniors and juniors, those upperclassmen that you like to have, but also some athletic sophomores, and obviously starting with that quarterback that kind of is the trigger man on offense, Vance. A really good opportunity, and again, one of those teams you'll want to put in your back pocket when you go look into the playoffs and see how teams did later in the season.
Coach Ellinghouse said his most spectacular moment has been state championships at the Home Depot Center. He's done it twice. And look at this. What a huge run down the sidelines, and it looks like it's going to be Brendan Gamble.
Just a great job on the outside zone play, securing it man for man to the wide side of the field, and Jones squared up and running through the hole for a massive gain. And again, that Driller defense, we kind of belabored it. They've been on the field a long time. Now you're starting to wear down a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell where they're just going to their big front 7 and just leaning on guys now. You know, and it's a frustrating thing to see a defense put in a tough position like this, because they actually played pretty well 3 quarters through the game, and you know, you only have so much gas when your offense is continuing to turn it over on down. So kudos to the defensive staff and the rest of those guys, but you only can do what you can do.
Well, one of the great things about tonight, though, for a high school game perspective on both sides, it's good to see kids playing both ways, all this specialization and some of these other things. They got a lot of athletes here playing both ways and playing a heck of a football game tonight.
Another big run, and this might, touchdown, saving tackle, and again, a strong run by Brendan Gamble. Gamble with another big yard run. And Kirk, I was looking at that at halftime. I would say both teams have over 75 players on their roster, and really we're only really seeing about 18 to 20, if that. It's been a steady dose of two-way football.
Yeah, and for Sierra Canyon defensively, they haven't done much exotic. They stayed in the same front.
Oh, you got a little man dog every once in a while, and they rotated the coverage, but most of the night they sat in that freak shell that you were talking about the whole time about trying to attack, and you're exactly right. Here it is. Here's what we do. Can you beat us?
Yep.
Peary takes the snap. It's another run, and they give it again to Brendan Gamble, the junior. Once again, we want to thank United States Army, Kern Schools, Federal Credit Union, Motor City, and Tony's Pizza.
Bakersfield High Athletics On the 24th, girls golf will be at Stockdale Country Club.
2nd and 7.
On the 25th, volleyball, BHS versus Frontier.
There's the handoff, and they meet him
Also on the 25th, girls tennis, BHS.
right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing happening there, but the clock continues to tick.
Well, VP, I'll say this. As a former defensive coach, when in games like this, when you're on the other side of a whooping, you find things to inspire teammates. And one thing that's going to inspire these teammates is the player, Adrian Moreno. That kid's been lights out from snap to whistle every play. You know, it definitely gives me goosebumps to watch him perform. I've known his journey, and it makes me proud to see him putting in work.
We may be speaking about him after the final break. 1.5 remains here. Trailblazers on a 3rd and 8. Quick pitch out here to the near side, and they just might get it. Still on his feet, and he gets down to the 2-yard line. And we've talked about it enough to know that the Driller defense spent a lot of time in between the lines tonight, and this Trailblazer offense just keeps coming at them.
Well, VP and Kirk, I got to tell you guys, my first opportunity to call a Driller home game. One thing that brought a tear to my eye, I was trying to hide it from y'all, was when they called our names over the loudspeakers. It's the first time I've heard my name over that loudspeaker since I was a player. Beautiful feeling. You know, whether we win or lose, great day to be a Driller, always.
Well, with as much class as the Trailblazers are showing, going on the knee and saying that's enough tonight, class act yourself. KC, great to have you here tonight, and to have KB with me. Wow, what a treat.
Thanks for having me, man. It was a good night. Really was a good night. And Kenny, congratulations to you. You do a good job, and whatever you do next week or the high school game that you do, keep doing what you're doing because you do a good job, bud. And thank you, Vance, for having me again up here with you, and Mr. Green as well. Didn't come out the way Bakersfield wanted it tonight, but I think they're an SWYL team that'll have something up their sleeve when league play starts next week.
We will take our final break. It won't be a long one. We'll come back and award our Tony's Pizza Player of the Game, and we'll wrap things up here. But 31-7, the Trailblazers from Sierra Canyon come up to Bakersfield, and they do what they do.
See you next Friday night.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
Welcome back, everybody. Vance Palm, Kenny Calvin, Kirk Boyer here. 31-7, Sierra Canyon came in, took care of business. Before we get to our Tony's Pizza Award, let's talk a little bit about the game. Just wrap it up. Give me about a 30-second there, KC.
Well, just one of those games where you can't play a team like Sierra Canyon. You come out on your first drive, making mistakes. I think that set the tempo for the game and put the defense on the wrong side of momentum.
I think that's a salient point there. The other thing is, the one thing that Sierra Canyon did is they spread the field. They went through all their formations very early in the game, and then they decided how they wanted to attack that Driller defense, and they kind of went right at them, which some people have had some success doing in the past, and that Driller defense was on the football field for a long time. So headed into league play, there's some things that the Drillers and Coach Gola need to work on and have to work on, but they're going to jump right into it next week, and there's going to be a football game on Friday night, and they're going to be ready.
Thank you to the United States Army, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Motor City, and finally, Tony's Pizza. Tony's Pizza Player of the Game with a 31-7 defeat here. We still have some bright spots. You guys have talked about it on the air. We talked about it a couple of minutes ago. Let's start with you, Casey. Tony's Pizza Player of the Game, your thoughts. And by the way, with two coaches, it'll be 40%, 40%. I'll take a measly 20% on the decision-making.
Definitely. Well, I got to definitely give praises and respect to the young man, Adrian Moreno.
Okay.
Just watching him fly around out here. You know, I reflected on calling his games as a Golden Empire youth football announcer when I'm subbing. And just watching guys transition, or their game transition to the next level, I can tell he's going to be a guy that's playing on Saturdays in the future.
Your vote is Moreno. KB?
Well, I think you have to go with Moreno. He was the lock of that defense, the quarterback out there running around all the way till the last play of the football game, running around and making plays before they got the first down and took a knee. I think Moreno's your guy.
Well, it's a done deal. Adrian Moreno, our Tony's Pizza Player of the Game. Miguel Garcia, great job tonight. Thank you. Our director-producer, Kevin Willie, as always, the mainstay. KB, KC, what a great night for us to be up here to be together. Drillers lose, though, 31-7. Next week, we have volleyball, we have football, we have everything happening on Kern High Network. That'll do it for summertime. Autumn right around the corner. Good night and God bless.
Great show, guys.
That's good times right there, man. Good times.